Here we
Oh,
go.
I gotta post in my Discord.
There it is. The button has been pressed. The video feed is being sent.
Oh, can you put the link to the stream in this chat so I can push it on my Discord?
Yep.
I'm gonna rep you really well.
Sure can. No
Or you'll get all
problem.
the Purge viewers too coming in.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the wrong. No. Why did it do that?
It's a clip. That's just a scuffed
Yeah.
crash
Yeah,
clip.
yeah.
I'm gonna,
Don't
you know what?
watch
I'm gonna
that.
watch
Don't
this.
watch that.
I'm gonna watch this.
It's from. Yeah. Don't watch that.
Did you screw up a crash?
Yeah. No, the guild screwed up
yeah,
the
you
crash.
did.
The guild did, okay? And I'm still hot about it. I'm still mad about it. I tried to get you a link, okay? It didn't work. It didn't work.
I'll just go on YouTube. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was causing you calamity.
It's in my Discord.
I got it.
Or...
I already got it. I got it. Share.
Here.
Copy.
Maybe it just didn't copy. It didn't copy pasta.
Here, I'll post it down there. There. That is the link to the live stream,
Oh.
which I will be now posting in my Discord.
The live stream of the Grif and Go show, which is me and the dude to my right or left, whichever the camera goes, and then we're joined by the homie Smooth down below. Found him like 2 weeks ago. I was browsing Twitch and I typed in, Boomie like I usually do, and his stream came up and he was just sitting there pumping, and I was like, yo, how's it going, Smooth?
It's going pretty well.
Good. Grif, how you doing today?
Oh, I'm good. Thank you for asking. Oh my gosh.
You're rocking the hat.
That's actually what I had to run out my car for, because it's raining here and I've been riding my bicycle around town and my hair was so I was like, I'll go get my hat. It was in my car. So if we're a little bit late, it's my fault. I delayed us because I had to go get a hat that I don't even like wearing. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I gotta check another scene here. Main trio cam with screen. What is that?
Oh my god.
I wanted to have like a browser up here too.
Oh, we look good. Hey, I'm looking at us on the stream. We all look like handsome fellas. Like a bunch of chums.
A bunch of druids.
Mm-hmm.
One of us just got buffed. The other two just got nerfed. But we're
wait,
still
you
friends.
nerfed?
We didn't get
We're still
nerfed.
friends.
We're still the same.
Tier 10 2-piece got nerfed.
Wait. Back it up and tell me why.
I missed that part.
Wait, is that too soon?
No, we can get this out of the way.
No, I meant, are you emotionally ready to talk about it? Nah.
Yeah. Because it's not.
Kidding.
It's being taken away from me like 6 months in advance, so it's fine. But Gift of the Wild used to proc Omen of Clarity, and when we get Omen of Clarity, our 2-piece gives us like a percentage damage bonus to arcane and nature spells for 6 seconds.
You did get nerfed.
So we got
sorry.
nerfed. Yeah.
Oh, I feel bad.
We're so OP that the nerf doesn't even matter.
Yeah, we'll still top Pharaohs, so it's
wait
fine.
until the DPS charts come out, guys. I think you're gonna be in for a rude awakening.
Yeah, it's okay. All right, let me get these notes up here, because make sure that we're announcing that we're saving the very feral fire change discussion till later on. So if there's any ferals that were here trying to like get on the hype and talk about it and learn some stuff from Grif, that's going to be later on, about an hour and a half, 2 hours from now. So come back. Ferals keep hitting your target dummies. You can come back later.
Keep hitting your target dummies.
Yeah,
that's pretty accurate though. I'm not gonna lie.
Your 10 hours
if you're
of target
looking for
dummy
ferals
practice
right now, that's where they are. They're all hitting target dummies.
Yeah, I'd like to give a quick shout out to the homies that have done some super chats, donations, whatever you want to call them here on YouTube. Spirit, Nest, Scotty, Jay, yes, that one. Panda and Ike. Thanks, guys, for support this month. I appreciate you. Grif appreciate you, because some of you guys hang out over there with him too.
Yeah. Thanks for coming by.
Yeah, let me introduce Smooth. I have a couple notes here, a couple things to describe Smooth. He's a Boomie on Faralina in the guild Purged. I'd never heard of Purged, but apparently they're getting like better and better each phase. So tell me about your guild, Smooth.
That's the goal, right?
Yeah.
So they transferred off from Scarum when everyone else left, and they came to Faralina around SSC TK phase. And I was currently looking for a new guild at that time, and they kind of hopped in as they swapped over. And as I was looking for a guild, and it kind of just worked out because they were looking for a Boomkin, and I finally swapped off the classic warrior into Boomkin because classic druids were kind of shit. Not gonna lie.
Whoa!
Okay, you get one druid in your
Whoa!
raid, and you can have one rejuve. It wasn't really that fun.
Whoa! Bears.
Yeah, I don't even know what that spec is.
Yeah, what's a bear?
Yeah. It's like a bad warrior.
I haven't seen one of those since Sunwell.
Yeah, so
Turn
I
smooth
rerolled
up.
my
Turn
druid.
smooth up.
I wish
Hello?
I
can
could.
turn myself. Is this better?
Yeah, turn yourself up a little bit.
All right.
Scotty J says you're
If you
quiet.
can. I'll turn him
Oh.
up. Here we go. Boom.
Done?
Boom. My eardrums will bleed, so it'll be fine.
Hey, is this better?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Wow.
He's
Wow.
maxing it
I'm-
out. I like it.
Can I record this for my Hinge profile? Hold on, say
No.
that again.
Cool.
Yeah, so I basically played Druid back when I was like 14 in original TBC and Wrath, but obviously had to make the meta swap to Warrior in Classic. But as soon as TBC came out, I made the swap back, and I've been playing Boomkin since. However, in TBC, I was doing that Restokin Fairy Fire no actual form spec
Yeah.
for speedrunning because nobody was running one,
Oh.
which was sad. It was sad days.
Yeah, there was few and far between. You had to like really dig through some logs to try to find like an actual fully spec Boomie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when Purge made the swap over, I was looking at their logs on their other server, and they were up there. I think they were competing with like Space Force or something. I don't actually know the other server.
Oh,
other
so
guilds
they were
on
like
there.
up
They
there.
were up there. Yeah. They were like very competitive. They were doing well in the first phase of TBC, so sparked my interest. Got an invite after application, and I've been their main druid since up until this day. And I am now like 66% of the Boomkins in the guild, as I have 2, and we run 3 raids.
Yeah, I'm a big percentage of our druids too. We have Table, we got Adelaide, Swiftmend, so we have 3, and then I have 3 in the guild, so I'm 50% of our druids, I think. And then I guess our
Oh, because you played 2. Or you played 2, right?
I played 3. I've rated in
Oh,
all
do
3
you?
of them. Yeah, at least in the 10
Jeez.
mans, 2 and 25s. But yeah, I see you guys were world 45th, clearing Nax in phase 1 of Wrath, and moved up to 20th for Ulduar.
So that's the thing, though. Our guild really focuses on speed running and not world progression. So the Nax phase, when they launched it, and their completion was you had to do all 3 raids, not just Nax. I think, unless you're looking at just Nax completion. We stopped in Eye of Eternity and did loot for like an hour because we didn't have like a good loot system. So we didn't finish the raid when we could have probably gotten a better rank.
What kind of
Which is,
loot are you guys using?
We do loot council, but we didn't use RC loot council until like halfway through Nax, and it made it like loot 3 times faster.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were just picking loot up, and it was it was a miserable time. RC loot council definitely saved us like at least half an hour on loot.
Is that the one where like loot drops and then you get a notification on your screen? You hit like best in slot, side
Best.
grade,
Yeah,
stuff like that. Yeah, and then
Off spec.
I like it.
It's
We use
definitely
that
nice
in
and
my
clean.
guild. Yeah.
it's an add-on. I wouldn't join that guild because I don't really use add-ons. So I'd be like, nah, sorry, great guild and everything. You guys are like,
No,
20th for
okay.
Ulduar,
think
but no, it's
I-
not for me.
I think it'd be the other way. If you don't use that add-on, they're not bringing you because like
Yeah, because if it
makes
doesn't work, then
everything-
they don't know. Yeah, they don't know
Yeah.
you want that loot.
I
You're
would
not
never
getting
get
any
that
loot,
loot,
and
yeah.
they're gonna be fine with it. Like, oh, you didn't choose.
Oh,
so
you
just didn't get
passed.
the gear.
Oh, dang, how nice of you.
I'm still rocking TBC. Can you guys give me some gear? You just keep passing. We just assume you're happy with where you are. But yeah, I like RC loot. If you guys have never used it before, it's really handy because we actually do it both ways. Like if there's like garbage loot, like loot where like it's no high prio, they'll just roll it off. But like I've been in guilds where they roll everything off, and you have to like pay attention to the like the chat. Whereas RC loot, it pops up in your face. You know you didn't miss like letting them know, hey, I want this, because you have to select one to make it go away, even if it's just pass. And I really like that because I hate that like, oh my god, did you guys roll the ring? Can you
Yeah,
re-roll
it was rolled
I'm
like 5
so
items
sorry.
ago. It's like,
Yeah,
you gotta pay
yeah,
attention to chat.
yeah. Where's the RC Loot Council? It's in your face. You can't ignore it. And
Yeah,
they usually
RCO
because
Council
it's
is like, sorry,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, go
Uh,
ahead. Go ahead.
It's like a multiple choice test every time.
Yeah,
Feels like I'm
yeah.
just like sitting in class doing a test.
See if the council's paying attention. You like need on something that's like clearly not for you. Just to see if
Mhm.
they give it to you anyway because they're not paying attention. They're like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, it's a game. It's a game.
Ooh,
But yeah,
that did work. I'm doing something in the background here. Just don't pay attention to the screen. It's fine. It's gonna fix itself. Not
Or-
not me over here struggling. But yeah, it's gonna do it all its own. But dude, your parses are insane. You've 99'd every boss fight, including Algalon, which I think it was fifth. Now it's down to sixth, but I think. But yeah, like
fair.
it was fifth in the world, like Algalon parse, huge, and yeah, like
My alt has a better parse than my main. It's just sometimes you get lucky and sometimes you
Yeah.
don't.
yeah.
In a speedrunning guild, like your mindset can't be on parsing, right? And then you have like these guilds like Bipolar who like specifically focus on parsing, and it's just like you can't really get that 100 when the other Boomkin is sitting in the center of the room, starfalling every single one of the stars, and you have to sit on the side wall and make sure your starfall doesn't touch any of them. It's like you know, it's a little difficult.
Let me ask you guys,
Mhm.
for a Boomie, what percentage of your parse is RNG? Like, can you guarantee 99 regardless, but then trying to get in that top tier, that's RNG, or is there a bigger window there?
I'll let Smooth answer. Go ahead.
I definitely feel like it's kind of it's easy to get a 99 if that's what you're trying to ask, but
Yeah.
it's also kind of difficult. I'm not really sure because I was stuck at a 98 on Algalon for the longest time, and I was like 8th on Algalon. So it really depends until like all the dad guilds start getting their Algalon kills in. So like at the start of a new phase, there's gonna be like 10 Boomkins or like 15 Boomkins who actually kill that boss. So your 99 won't be there until the majority of other guilds.
You're like
kill that
hoping for
boss.
dad guilds to down it,
Yeah,
so
'cause then it ups
your
your
lower
parse,
DPS,
so-
yeah, boosts you up. When there's only like
Mhm.
10 of you, even if you're pumping, there's only 10 of you, and if you're
Mhm.
not, the top one, I guess, because if there's only 10 of you, there's only one of you in the 90s.
We also didn't
Yeah.
really PTR that much of Ulduar. Kind of sad about it, but it is what it is. Our Nax PTR didn't really go well because only half the guild had Wrath Beta. So
You bring up a good point. I've done every PTR since TBC, and
Mhm.
Ulduar was by far the most ignored. Like
It
there
was.
just
I
weren't a lot of
expected a
people
lot
doing
more.
Ulduar. Yeah, like I logged in, my guild couldn't organize a group. There was not enough people. Like like if you go back to even Nax, but if you go back to like TBC, especially like oh my god, the Lady Vash one. I am blanking on the name of the raid. That's
SSC.
sad. SSC, I was on the PTR every day, and there was like 30 runs going at any given time. I went on the Ulduar one, and there was like 2. Like, you know?
Yeah, there wasn't
So
much
yeah.
going on.
Yeah, but that's the thing. This is one of the hardest ones. This should have been the one where people were just like lining up. And you know who did do the PTR? Everybody that downed on day one.
Yeah,
Because
everybody
they
that
knew the
got their
plans.
server first titles. Yep.
Yeah.
I know a
Yep,
couple
yep,
of
yep.
guilds on Fairlina that did like 300 pulls of Yogg and uncapped amount of Algalon attempts, and they hardly killed the boss, right? And then we like our guild comes in, and we did it on live. We didn't even really get to PTR that much. We couldn't even get past the first big bang on PTR. And then when live dropped and we did it, I think we killed Algalon within like 10 attempts, but it was kind of crazy.
Still really good. That's like, because Uglon is, especially day one, your gear is not what we are wearing now. So like little mistakes hurt a lot more. Like,
Definitely.
oh, you blew it up 2 seconds too early. Oh, it's a wipe. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah. I'm assuming you're running 4 paladins back then.
Yeah, some people were doing like 6 D-sacks. It was disgusting.
That's how you get it
It's like
down, though.
4 H-pals, like 2 prot pallies. It's like, all right, here you go. Have all the buffs.
We stopped healing the tank. He hasn't taken damage in like 5 minutes. He's just stacked a D-Sax. But yeah, for sure. That's cool. Can I ask a quick question about Boomies?
Sure.
I ask when I play with Go all the time, especially when a new patch comes out or phase. What's your favorite boss?
I want to say Hodir. Are you talking about just this phase?
Anything.
Or
I
like
mean, if you have I meant this phase, but if you've got like a boss from like in the past, that you're like, oh, I love that boss.
I honestly really enjoyed Kill Jaden, but
Really, as a
yeah,
Boomie.
it was fun. Other than that, yeah, Hodir, but it's a love-hate relationship. And
Yeah.
it's now taken off all stars, it's taken off all your parsing, so it doesn't really matter. So if I had to remove Hodir,
Yeah, 'cause you guys are so strong at that. Like that, Hodier's like one of your strongest or most fun, right? Because you get to just go all out.
It's fun, but it's
yeah,
stressful.
if you don't get the buff or like the buff gets put on you, you're screwed. Like if you get the spark on you, you can't get the buff. It's over. You might as well
That
just
sucks.
alt F4 at that point.
Just find a fire and keep Singe stacked up.
I would just stand still and die or something, whatever. Go bear form and taunt the boss and blame the tank.
What do you think of Yogg Zero?
Yogg's all right. I'm forced to go in the brain. I'm still debating whether or not brain is better than hitting the tentacles because I have to like move around a lot when I go through the portal, and I can't really like sit there and plant my feet and just pump on like tentacles and shit like that. But
I know a lot of people hate Yogg. Like when I ask them, they're like, "Oh, Yogg, it's so clunky and not smooth, and like there's, and I feel that way, especially transitions. Well, like the second to third phase transitions, whatever, because you just got to get to the position and start pumping. But like first to second is like you kind of stand there for like 10 seconds waiting to see where the tentacles are, and then if you're going in, the portals, you got to like allocate where you're going. Man, someone stole my portal last night. But anyway,
If I had one gold for every time I heard that.
oh my god. But anyway, but like yeah, like then you have the brain where everyone's got to organize the portals, which doesn't always go smooth. I get that people think it's clunky. I don't know. It's not my favorite, but I mean, I think it's one of the harder ones, but only because people want to cheat. Like they want to hurry up. Like Melee, they want to stay in phase one. You're like, bro, you don't. We could literally just chill out and it'd be fine. But I don't know.
yeah,
Outbound's more fun in my opinion.
there's certain strats that you can do. You can do assignments. There is a weak aura that shows you where your portal is, and
I use that.
It removes your
still
mini
steal
map. People still steal it, yeah, but I mean, it's personal accountability at that point. We've actually gotten a lot better at not stealing portals. And in phase one, you can force like 4 or 5 guardians at once. So like star falling right off the bat feels great. Yeah, and it'll be up for phase 2 when the tentacles pop up, and you can kind of actually time it out really well. I don't know. I think Yogg is it's all right. It's in a good place. It's definitely better than some other bosses, I think.
Yeah. So we've been talking a little bit about Wrath here at the start, but it's Feral Hub. Where did you start playing WoW Classic? Like, did you start as Boomie? You said you were a warrior, and then you switched.
Yeah.
So like, what else? What else have you played so far in Classic at max level?
Just Classic itself, I played back when they did the name reservations. I did start on Faralina, and I was actually sitting in the character selection screen for a solid half an hour debating whether or not I wanted to make my druid or go warrior and be a meta slave. And I went with the warrior. I just saw more potential in it in Classic. But yeah, as soon as they announced that Classic was coming out again in 2019, I stopped everything, dropped it all, went straight into WoW. Killed literally everything that I did. Went full degen.
And you were playing other games before, but did you play any private servers?
Yeah, I played all 3 seasons of Warmane and the Forever server. So I actually had some good like Wrath experience, and I pretty much played Classic and TBC for the weight of Wrath, even though they didn't even announce TBC back then. I knew if they were gonna make a Classic, they would eventually make more expansions, and I banked on that, and now we're in Wrath, and it's sick. And I've had a decent amount of practice, so.
You looking forward to a Kata Classic maybe, or would you want something else? Like, what would the next Classic expansion be for you?
Wait.
No, I don't mind.
Wait,
Wrath. Or I don't mind Kata. What?
I was gonna see if we could guess what he was gonna say because I feel like everybody's either like, "Cat is stupid. What are you doing?
Kata
I hate you. Stop
sucks."
talking to me." And then other people are like, "No, it's okay." No one is ever okay, with the exception of Scotty J. No one's ever like, "Yeah, Kata," with the exception of Scotty J. But everyone's like, "Yeah, it's okay," or like, "No, I won't ever play it." So I think I wanted to catch it, but it's too late. So go ahead.
So the Wrath transition into Kata back in OG days was kind of where everybody was like the sweatiest. I feel
I can see
maybe
that.
like
can see
I was
that.
on Illidan with like Blood Legion and Raiding Rainbows and all them, so like the competition for that server was insane. Um, and I did play a lot of Kata. However, when they announced that Mist of Pandaria was coming out, like halfway through Kata or like whatever, I stopped immediately. I was like, a neutral faction, pandas, nah, I'm out, and I quit around the spot. Like I sold my account and I was like, I don't even want to play any Battle.net games ever again, kind of thing. I was like, fuck this. Even though I think pandas were in the lore, so I don't
Yeah,
know.
they were.
I
They
just
were.
I couldn't. I don't know.
I think what made it dumb was while they announced map, there's also the phase of Kung Fu Panda in the
Yeah,
in the movie, and you're like,
Yeah.
are they trying to milk Kung
yeah.
Fu Panda?
I'm pretty sure. I think I had that thought too.
And that was ruined. You're like, oh, they're trying to turn it into a cartoon for kids, and yeah.
Yeah.
Did you stop at Mop, or you didn't
I
even
I
get to Mop?
stopped in Kata like halfway through. I think
Did you play
before
Legion?
Firelands even came out. No, I
Mm.
didn't. I
Mm,
came back literally just recently, like at like through halfway through TBC. I think when Shadowlands and Jailer was out. Like it's the first time
okay.
I've touched retail since Cataclysm, and like I came in with a classic guild that because I was playing with them on Som. And we're
Mhm.
like, let's try retail. None of us have touched it before. We came in, we killed Jailer on heroic like 3 weeks into playing it. We've never played the game, never got carried by
Yeah.
anybody with experience. We're like, well, this is. I didn't mind retail at that time because
I
End of Shadowlands was good. I think.
honestly, like, I think Mop it got a bad rap, like, because of like the same reason. Like, even I was like, this is very and if you play the starting zone, it feels very cartoony. Like,
I remember trying it.
I don't wanna spoil it for you because you haven't experienced it yet, but like everything glows like really brightly when you need to, like, you know how like you have to click like a bush to collect bushes.
Yeah,
It doesn't just like glow like it does now in the game. It like
like highlights it, right?
it like yeah, it like emits light. And you're like, I
Yeah.
think I need to click that. It's like it's so funny. But yeah. Anyway, that's so Kata, you'll play if it
Yeah,
comes
Kata
out.
was fun. I think Kata was the first raise that they implemented like launch pads, right? And like the Throne of the Four Winds was like their first raid with launch pads.
Oh
We had to
yeah.
jump between four different pillars and kill four bosses at the same time, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think that fight was really fun. I think Cho'Gall was fun. Nefarian 2.0 was pretty fun too. I like those
Yeah,
raids,
yeah.
but right after
I
those raids, I stopped.
I think Kata had really fun raids. In fact, when we think back, my mind usually goes to ICC and then a couple of Kata raids as my favorite.
Yeah.
I don't know if I deeply played mop raids, so I cannot comment. I know I played them, I just don't know how well. But yeah, and then you've got after mop was what do you call it, right? Uh, oh my
Legion?
gosh,
Warlord?
not no, it was the one where you go back in time, and I'm blanking on it. Everyone hates it.
Was it WAD?
Warlords.
Yeah, well,
Warlords of Draenor, WAD, yeah.
Mm. I think
Which
that's when I stopped. I want to
Warlords had
say.
good ideas, but they weren't good. Like the garrison idea, like if you watch Scotty J a lot, I'm gonna bring him up a lot. He actually went through this whole thing how he thought it'd be really cool to have garrisons, but like good ones. And he actually explains how garrisons should have worked. And instead, what it really was like, hey, do you want to play an MMO but not interact with anybody? Cool, check this thing out. And if you read about it, it sounded really cool. But when you experience it, you're like, oh, so I don't ever leave. I can do everything from the herbing, mining. It's all here, and I could do all of. Okay, it was just I don't know. But yeah.
I remember like
Anyway,
dueling outside of the instance portal to get into your garrison, and you would just like if you were losing, you just like run back into your garrison, and
peace.
you're fine. Yeah, it's like the world PvP. You just got to
I
get rid of it.
I never got that ring, the admiral's ring or whatever. I
Mm.
tried. like day in and day out. If you don't know what we're talking about, it's just this. They started introducing like heirlooms buried in. So okay, if you don't know this, you could still do dailies, but you could also you had like minions and you could send them to do your dailies, and there was like this ship daily, and you could send ships to fight things and gather resources. It was kind of stupid if you think like when I say it out loud. But one of them, this one ship had, I think it's how it worked. The one ship had it was a specific quest, and if you did it, you got a new heirloom ring, and I never got it.
I tried to get the heirloom ring this Saturday from the fishing tournament.
I still haven't remembered to do
Keep
it yet.
forgetting, dude. I was sleeping, I think, and like I woke up
Yeah.
and I was like, "What time is it?" I was like, "Oh, it's like 1:55," and like I got
Yeah.
up and like got to the computer and like I tried to go fish for it, and like 2:05, somebody won the tournament, and I was like, "Well, there goes the heirloom ring for this week." But at least I got to try this week. I always forget.
Yeah, I'll never do it. But anyway, Smooth, tell us more about your playstyle. Why are you better than Go in every way?
Oh,
True facts.
I think it's just a
Have
good
you guys
thing.
have you guys compared parses? Like, have you looked at
There's-
each other's
No,
parses?
There's no,
honestly, never have.
There's no reason to.
Do you if you guys were in the same raid together, would you be happier or more frustrated? Like
Oh, I'd
because
be
you've
happy.
got two you like the competition, right?
Yeah. It fuels
Yeah.
me. I'm like,
What
But
about
you
you,
have to
Smooth?
fairy fire because I'm not doing it if there's another boom.
we're alternating weeks, okay?
Uh,
But we don't
I
have
don't
to
know about
anymore.
that.
The ferals are keeping it up full time.
Ferals will keep it up. Don't
You
worry
have
about
to
it.
have a shadow priest. Like if the shadow priest dies, I'll put up fairy fire. How's that?
Yeah, all right, that's fair. I also fairy fire every single trash mob, so ferals can't do that since it's on a 6-second cooldown.
That's
Well, as a speedrunner, that makes sense. But for me,
Mhm.
I'm Starfalling, I'm Typhooning, I'm a Hurricaneing. I'm getting that top AoE trash DPS. in my
I'm
raid.
gonna be honest. I don't look at other Boomkin parses. Like
I don't either.
some
I don't look
people,
at,
some
like,
people to
I
get
don't
better,
care.
they go on like Warcraft logs and they look at a Boomkin that's better than them or like the number one
Oh.
on Warcraft logs and they look at
I'll
their
do
like
that.
their cast rotation and then they'll try and
I'll do
copy it
that.
or something. I don't even look at Warcraft logs. I kind of just try to make myself better by just playing every week and kind of studying my own playstyle.
So I feel like you've put me in a corner because I do that. But the reason I do it is for video content, not necessarily like because like I think I have a pretty good understanding of the rotation, but it's really interesting to like not necessarily to like be better, but to understand like how did that 100 get to it? Because sometimes it's a trick.
Yeah, there's
And
always
that's what
that.
I find like when you're like, oh, I see what they did there, and it's worth knowing because if you're sitting there like, hey, how am I out? How am I not being able to parse on this one boss? And you don't realize, oh, there's this cheese strat where these mobs count, so you just starfall on them, and then like, I mean, I know Go knows every single mob and whether it counts on the parse, and I don't. I'm just like, dude, they're you need to be killed. I'm killing them. I don't. Well, no, it's not worth it. 'Cause save your starfall. Those don't count.
Yeah, the little
Bunch of trolls.
the little cats on Ariaya. No, I'm not. No, they're dying to melee
Nah.
cleave. I'm not gonna hurricane them. No.
The thing that sucks though is like our guild kind of like it rewards overall damage. And even things that like I will only do parsing numbers, right? I'll look at Warcraft logs to see what's excluded for parsing and shit like that. So those tiny little cats on Araya, I will never Typhoon, I will never save my Starfall for them, I won't Sapper them. But then you see like our Shadow Priest sitting there mind searing every single tiny cat, and his overall is literally just skyrocketed. And they're like, "Damn, this Shadow Priest is good. Look at his overall at the end of the raid." It's like, bro, this man just tatted on every single mob. It's like, get out of here. Like, do I need to do this?
Yeah.
You
Like, I'm not
you
doing
speed run then, Smooth? You're a
Yeah, we're
speedrunner
speed. Yeah,
specifically.
we're like literally only a
What-
speedrunning guild.
What's the difference? Like, what's your how do I put this? Do you find you have a different play style because when you're doing the speed runs,
Yeah,
as opposed
so
to just when you get to like chill out?
when we do splits, that is our only time to parse, but it's kind of dumb because when we're splitting, we have like, two of our main casters in every raid, two of our melee casters, and we do 3 splits and 2 GDKPs. And all the rest are like alts. So you have like these alts that are in Nax Phase 1 gear, and all of your BIS 252 Ulduar gear is now split amongst like 3 or 4 raids. So your parse always comes down to how fast you can kill the boss, right? So if all your best gear is just split between 3 raids, you're never gonna have that 100 because you don't have all your main raiders in one raid. You can't really push timings, so it's a little different. But you can still kind of parse. That's how you get your 99s, I guess. But I'll never get a 100, and especially now that all of our mains are in one raid, I'm getting blue parses now because we're doing like 2 or 3 pulls at once, and then I have to starfall, and then we rocket boot into a boss, and now all of my shit's on cooldown. It's like, okay, I know I'm not gonna get a good parse, and it's like parsing is dead for us right now.
Well, I mean, as a speedrunner, parsing is kind of more of a byproduct than anything, because like the goal is to down,
Not
run
die.
the instance in. Yeah, exactly. And but also like you've got to, because you're a caster. I haven't played a caster and definitely haven't speedran, but like, how much thought do you put into positioning? Like, let's say you're in Hodir, he's at 20%. Are you looking at the door already? Are you like, okay, I need to get close to the door because we're about to go? Or is it more like, get the boss down and then we move? Or is Hodir one of those ones where, like the tank's taking care of that, dragging him to the exit, and you guys are,
Oh yeah,
like
we're
the
always
melee's
looking
just
towards the door. 100% always.
really? Yeah, I feel like that's something in like, just as a speedrunner, you have to like keep in like not just like not in the moment, but also like in the moment after the moment, because okay, I'm about to, rocket boots, go. Do you guys double rocket boots, or are you guys just single rocket? Like,
we
do you
have
the
we use
boots as
TBC
well?
rocket boots, but we also have
Oh my god,
we have a leather worker in every group for extra drums. So we have five
so much
drums
speed.
users. Yeah,
And
because
you're probably doing Zanza.
It multiplies. We haven't actually started Zanza, but I think we're gonna actually be
Okay.
doing that. We did that in Nax.
Okay,
So
yeah.
we probably will be soon. It's like our second speed run, and I missed the first one. So, and our GM isn't actually there, so definitely missed an extra Valenier for that run.
So I asked Sart this question, and I'm curious what you think as a speedrunner. If they were to do the kind of nerfs that like have been apparently incorrectly leaked, we're gonna say, like if they just took it and like Lady Vashed it, is what we're gonna call it, where they just like, is that still fun to speedrun for you?
Probably. I mean,
Yeah.
personally, I find parsing way more fun than speedrunning. However,
Okay.
I don't mind speedrunning. It's all right. I wish we implemented speedrunning and like progression in the same sense, where we still compete for, a server first title. I would like that. In-game achievements is better than a website, in my opinion. But
100%. I would if I had a choice, I want the achievement. I want the titles. Like,
yeah,
that's not nothing. Like, that's something you could take, especially if classic continues. You take that with you. That doesn't go away. That's not like the parses. How often do you look at Nax parses from phase 1? No one cares.
not anymore.
Like,
When Nax was relevant, 100%. But since Ulduar,
Yeah.
like it doesn't matter.
but having that title is still cool. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be cool in the future. It's like getting server first class or whatever. Like that.
I'll give you the best
awesome.
example right now. So my warrior in Classic has Thunder Fury, right? He's a cow. I could do a race change to Orc, whatever. However, I have a rank 14 warrior, and now I want to level him because he's got the High Warlord title over my Thunder Fury.
Yeah,
so I can get a Thunder
exactly.
Fury. Like, I can farm it, but I'll
You can
never get a
solo
High
it. You
Warlord
can solo
title
it
ever
now.
again. So, and I think that title is
exactly.
sick.
It's like Scarab, or Scarab Lord.
Yeah, Scarab Lord,
like,
yeah.
oh, is that your main? Yeah, forever it's my main because it's the Scarab
forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's funny how it's tough because parses are fun, but like speedrunning's got its own kind of like.
It's got its own niche. Like, there's definitely some. There's a small adrenaline rush into it. It's like, cool. We beat other guilds. I personally like the people that I'm raiding with, so I definitely wouldn't leave unless something drastic changes within like our core. But I definitely enjoy what we're doing right now.
Did you change
Cool.
your spec and your glyphs a little bit to give you extra mana and stuff like that for your speed runs, or?
I was thinking about going Moonglow, but honestly, with the changes that Blizzard did to refreshing all of your abilities and they get double innervate before and after boss, like I honestly have no mana issues, so I'm just keeping
that's
I'm
right.
keeping the build the
This
same.
innervate. You know, I gotta tell you, and you guys probably can relate to this. Before, I have not been asked to innervate in months.
I
Since
do.
since Nax, I've never innervated a mage.
You might innervate yourself,
mage?
and that's
Oh.
part of your class. But like, I used to have like the healers call for innervates, and I have no problem doing it. But like, they don't even bother anymore. You know, like they're like, no, we're good, we're good.
Ours
And I'm
ours
curious
ask.
if
Yeah,
that's just late phase, or if that's going forward. They're just not gonna have mana problems. I don't know.
Vazax is one thing that you probably should. Obviously, I don't know if I guess you don't speedrun, but our Disc Priest goes like every single time on Vazax, so our Feral always innervates before and after the fight.
Yeah, because you can't do it during the fight, right? Like,
You
that's the problem.
can right before he dies, so then the ticks will start happening after he dies, and then you get a second innervate.
Rumor has it you could bubble innervate. I don't know if they fixed that or hot fixed that, but like
It's
you could
DI, I
like target
think, right?
someone.
It's
I don't.
DI.
It was something where you could, yeah, maybe it's that, and then innervate them, and then Soulstone, bring them back up. Everyone's happy. I don't know. We've never done it. Excuse me, we've never done it, but like, I wonder how big of a play that is.
Yeah, our Pally asked for innervate on like who is it? Iron Council and Algalon at least, I think. Maybe even another fight. They're sitting there, they're just spamming whatever flash of light, like getting the Valinir buff up like all the time.
Yep.
They're just burning through their mana now. But let me ask you about your gear. I see you have 4-piece. Do you like the 4-piece? Would you rather 2-piece?
There's some times where the 4-piece proc is nice, and the 2-piece is probably just better output damage. Speedrunning purposes, I think 4-piece is probably better, just because I can move towards doors faster with the procs. Honestly, I'm really indifferent right now. I haven't really played without 4-piece since like third week or something like that.
Yeah.
So I have to really try it. But the Sims with the gear that I have right now, if I took off 4-piece, I lose like 50 DPS. So right now it's not worth.
And what about your trinkets? You have Flare. Congrats on Flare.
And Scale.
And
Yep.
Scale. Do you like Scale? Is that one that
Scale
you
is
switch
awesome.
around?
I
Or you
love
just
Scale.
like
Scale's
it?
great.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have it on one of my boomies, and it's okay. I don't even notice it. I just have it macroed in with hyperspeed, so every other hyperspeed, like with Lunar, it goes off. But yeah, I don't know.
Still trying to time it, because if you use Scale and your gloves with your first lunar eclipse, the next rotation of it, you'll use your gloves because your Scale is still on cooldown, and then after that, the third one after that, when your Scale comes up, your gloves is on cooldown, and then it's just like the timings are all messed. So either you skip a gloves and you save it for like a double use or something like that. I don't know. I'm still working on it, but
Yeah.
I'll figure it out eventually.
So are you using pre-popping wild magic and then popping speed during the fight?
Yep.
Okay. Because I think.
Oh, really? You guys
think-
you guys use both now? I
We,
thought you were
we've
all
still
magic.
you've always used wild magic, but I think that we're transitioning into double haste very
Yeah,
soon.
it looked like
Yeah.
double speeds going
Yeah.
better and better, but it would feel so bad. I'm stubborn. I'm sticking with double wild magic. I've never popped a potion of speed in all of Wrath yet.
Really.
I'm a
Dude,
wild
you're
magic
missing
lover,
out.
dude. Wild magic is the way to go.
I guess,
I
but I
mean-
mean, having that haste proc or the haste potion with your lunar and everything else, you got like
And your
1
gloves?
second starfires is just nasty.
I also only have 300 haste, and this is the most haste I've had all of Wrath. So I get slow cast,
Oh,
but they're
that's a
beefy.
good question.
They're
Hey, you're
juicy.
down.
They're
Not bad.
Are you stacking crit or haste, Smooth?
I'm capped on my soft haste cap, so I am
Interesting.
I'm just getting whatever. I play around with the Sims, and I try and always keep 401 haste before I swap anything else out.
That's fair. It's boring, but it's fair.
I just need a ring.
I mean, haste sounds fun,
Mhm.
to be honest with you. Like, it's for a Boomie, because like if you don't have haste, Starfire feels so slow.
It really does.
And
Yeah.
But you get 50% of its use because your Wrath will cap out, and then it just sucks.
yeah, that's the downside, right?
Oh, what else have you been up to outside of the raid in the past week? I know you leveled up a mage recently, and you've been raiding on the mage.
Yeah. Right now, it's literally I am just raiding, like 10 Ulduars a week, quite a lot. But I don't know. Right now, I'm kind of just waiting for Diablo 4. I played the beta on that.
How'd you like
Uh,
the beta? My friend really liked it.
I was waiting for
I only had-
Druid, so I didn't play the first one that much. Like I played the
Mm.
Sork, and then I was like, it's kind of OP. I'm waiting for Druid, and then Druid came out, and I felt super weak, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna wait until they buff this class. Give us Starfall or
Yeah.
something.
It's
Diablo
it's
4.
Druid's a weird choice though, right? Like, am I crazy? Like, Diablo's about like killing demons and like I don't know. Maybe the lore makes sense. I haven't played it, but like it's just when I heard, I was like, Druids, really? I
Yeah,
don't
you ever
know.
played Diablo 2? Diablo 2 Druids were
I never
busted.
played it.
I played a lot of Diablo 2 Druid. So
My
when they
brother was the Diablo dude. I was
yeah.
not.
Yeah. Other than that, literally I'm just farming Anzu mounts and you know,
Yeah,
trading. Other than that,
you still don't have the
not
Anzu
much.
mount as a
I
druid?
got it
Like,
on my main. I'm farming it on my
oh, okay,
ults right now. Yeah.
I don't have it,
got it.
Griff.
You don't have it?
I haven't got a single mount that I've tried to farm. Like the Strathholm mount, Midnight, ZG mounts, Anzu,
Maybe you
Magister's
might be better
Terrace.
off.
I
You
haven't
might be
got
better
any.
off healing heroics.
Oh, and getting
Like,
I forgot all about
yeah,
that. But you can get them from there.
because you're not getting any drops, so you might as well, right?
Nah,
I
I'll
really dislike the LFG system, so I don't really look
yeah.
for heroics anymore. It's not that
I'll
fun.
tank the normal heroics in Boomie form. How's that?
It's
Honestly, you
possible.
probably
I heard that
can.
Boomkin
You
armor is the
probably
same
can.
as Bear.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
you can.
sick.
It, even the heroic pluses are kind of like melty already, so I could see you just going into the regular heroics and just like beelining to the end.
I did a
But yeah,
heroic plus world tour the other day with a guildie. They just leveled up a shaman. They were looking for people. I think I ended up getting like 8 or 9 of the dungeons in with them, but I was at work, so I was kind of like AFK sometimes. I was like, "Yo, I'm skipping this one." I'd come back and then do some more, and they were okay for the most part. It was rough for
which
the
one do you
first
skip?
month or two.
Halls of Stone. Halls of Stone.
Well, I mean, they did the full 12. I didn't do Halls of Lightning with them. Gundrak, maybe no. I was there for Gundrak. I don't know.
Kendrick's easy.
I missed a couple. Violet Hold, I didn't make it in for,
Yeah.
but I was in there for Oculus. Oculus is so rough, man. The mirror images.
Yeah, Oculus is
Oh.
the other one. Yeah. Oh, you're doing the heroic pluses? Oh
Mhm.
man. I think I'm trying to think what my least favorite heroic plus is right now. I don't think it's Oculus.
Gotta be
Hmm.
Nexus and Oculus, right? The mirror images kind of suck. But other than that, I think that
So-
Gundrak is awful because of the healing thing.
So-
and Hug tanks are just so
Yeah.
bad at it.
Yeah. We
As a druid, I kind of like Nexus. I kind of like the mirror images. I might be alone though, like as a feral druid specifically,
Mm.
because
You can't swipe them though, right?
Yeah,
You
that
can't single
sounds
target them.
that sounds
In-
bad for Feral.
Well, no. So
Explain.
I'm trying to think it through. Okay, so it
Spit
might
it
not
out.
make sense anymore.
It doesn't make
It
sense.
might not make sense anymore.
Make it make sense.
When you were bear weaving, you like,
course.
when you do a pug, you just don't bear weave. I mean, you can, but like you'll just pull threat every time. So you just don't bear weave. So I would just run around and have low energy and just be okay with it. What's cool is I can run out, hit a random mob with my white damage, not using my abilities, run back, and then swipe or whatever else I'm doing, and end up just pumping DPS because I'm getting extra damage and then still swiping, and I'm not losing anything, and everyone else is like scrambling. I don't know. It just feels easy. I know because you guys, you have to like burn a Moonfire or a Wrath or something like that, whereas all we do is just run over white damage. And bears can just do Feral Fairy Fire, and it will do damage to them to kill them. So it's for ferals, it's I think nice. I
And
don't
now
know.
you're getting
Maybe
an
I'm alone.
omen proc every time you do that. So yeah,
I didn't know. So bears are gonna absolutely love it now. But yeah,
bear tank for the win. Yeah, we paid 200 gold for a tank for Gundrak because of like no tanks want to do it, and the tanks that you do find are just garbage. So actually paying for one,
really.
it
Gundrak,
was
so
fine, dude. That tank was beast. I think they were a warrior, and
How much did you
it was
pay?
clean, 200 gold.
I'd do it for less. It's not that bad.
Yeah,
I'd do it for
I
100.
didn't pay it. I wasn't gonna
Yeah.
pay it. Like
If it's not the daily, you'd have a hard time getting me in there. But like, I
Yeah.
don't mind doing it.
think my only interaction with a bear weaving druid outside of my guild, because I don't tank for my guild, I was on my DK tank doing a VOA 25 man, and this druid was like, "You better salve me quick, because I'm a rip," and he started bear weaving, and I'm a DK like blood
DK.
tank, right? I'm spamming icy touches, I'm doing like
Yeah.
whatever. I have like a bajillion threat. This man bear weaves so well that he rips off me, has like a 500k threat lead, and he decides to rocket boot out of the dungeon with the
Oh
boss.
my god!
And he doesn't even stand there and die. He doesn't do anything. He just sprints and leaves. And he pulls the boss all the way to the front of the instance, and we
Did
kicked
you
him.
down the boss?
No, we wiped, obviously.
Oh,
It's
man,
like,
that's
it was
troll.
like, what are you doing? But that
I-
was like one of my only interactions. It was a little off topic. It was something I
VOA
thought of.
VOA is like VOA is the worst, but also like the easiest. Like nobody ever. I shouldn't say this because I'm sure people do it. No guild organizes a VOA or very rarely runs a VOA anymore, at least. So
Ever
you're
since
always
the
pugging
launch,
them.
yeah.
Yeah, you're always pugging them, and I mean the people that are running VOA are people that usually have alts and stuff like that, so their gear is less. So yeah, if you go in with like your BIS gear, chances are one of the tanks or both of the tanks are meh, and you're gonna pull off. And even if you are like, I don't know, ferals have threat problems anyway. It's so dumb. I'm curious. I would love to see the logs on that because I'm kind of curious what the rotation looked like. Like, were they just lacerate or were they
I
mangle
have
mauling?
no idea. I feel like he stayed in bear form after he had all his stacks up, didn't go back cat, and he's like DPSing in bear form. It was kind of weird.
Yeah, that's how you do it. That's bear weaving right there
Yeah.
at its finest.
Well,
You go back
I
to cat
guess.
form after you get your 5 lacerate stacks up. This man was mauling.
Just staying in bear form.
He was,
Okay,
he
then
was,
he's
he
just.
was mauling.
he was
Like, I
cat
like,
weaving. is what-
Well, you maul. You're supposed to maul. So like you
Okay,
maul
okay.
lacerate. But
his
so
threat was literally, it was god tier. I
You
couldn't
go,
pull
like-
off of him.
you go like 3 lacerate mauls, and then you go back to cat, and then you just have to every 10 seconds or so or 12 seconds you go back to bear and reapply lacerate until you have 5 stacks, and then you
Yep.
just maintain it.
Mhm.
But like you're mauling the whole time, which is your big threat, and you're in bear form, which has like I think a giant threat modifier just by itself. So it's dumb. I'm glad we're moving away, but maybe not. And I won't talk about it yet because I don't have enough info. about that.
But what
Some
you
hidden tricks.
what you can talk about is what you were up to, Griff, this week. Other than being at the Target Dummy all day and night for the past 3 days, what else have you done, if anything?
Oh my god! So I don't know if you guys heard, but this week I was vindicated. Whew. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, if you don't know Smooth, I have been doing a very hard campaign for this change for ferals. I've made several videos, so I'm very excited to announce that they made a change just for me.
Wow.
I don't know if I don't think I had that
Just
much
for me.
influence on it, but I'll take credit for it. But yeah, like we did 25 man. I started off really good. We started like, I don't know, like my guild's normally like very solid. But this week we just like, I think we had like 2 new people, which doesn't sound like it should be a factor, but like it was. We had somebody new on the stars. No, we didn't have somebody new. We tried a new star strat. That's what it was.
Oh.
For Algalon, I think we're doing like we're either doing 2-2 or 1-3. I'm not sure. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about
Yeah,
it.
we're trying
Or
1-3.
Fusion punch or face punches? Or
Uh,
wait. For
no.
killing
Stars,
stars.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, so
okay.
Big Bang 2, Big Bang 2, or Big Bang 1, Big Bang 3. We scuffed it every time. I think even the time we downed him, it wasn't perfect. But it was like a learning curve for the guy doing them because like it's like a whole new world. So that was a thing, and then we just like were struggling on, like we wiped on Iron Council, which I don't think we've ever wiped on Iron Council. We've wiped on like just and to add insult to injury, guess what didn't drop?
Dreambinder.
My Dreambinder.
Yeah,
I got.
no
I think
Dreambinder.
I got a
apparel
neck.
item that I don't really care about.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. If you asked me, like, if you show me a weapon and said, "Hey, is this Boomie Biss?" I'd be like, "I don't know. It has intellect on it, so maybe." I don't.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not
enough.
ashamed that I don't know anything
Fair
about Boomies. But yeah, other than that, like, that's it. I've been doing a lot of videos, talking to you a lot. I think this is like our 3rd video interaction this week or recorded. There's just been so much going on.
Yeah.
I feel really bad that that buff is a slight nerf for you guys,
Very
but
minor.
only in the
It's only
context
like a
of
pre-pull buff, right?
yeah. Well, we technically got that nerf too because we used to do a Gift of the Wild pre-pull for ferals, so we don't do that anymore. I mean, there's like I've been doing Tranquility. People have just been spamming Gift or Mark of the Wild on everybody because apparently Mark of the Wild still does it. Which sucks
Oh
because if someone
no.
already put Gift up, they can't buff thing. It's a whole
Oh
thing.
yeah.
Just have a cancel or a gift and then put it on yourself.
Yeah, just spam it on myself. I mean,
Yeah.
not a horrible idea. Not a horrible idea. But yeah. But not much, man. Busy. Oh, I moved. This is my new place. This is a fake tree. I did not realize the irony of having a fake tree as a druid. That is a fake tree.
You just
So
need a stuffed bear animal.
Yeah.
I'll get one over there.
Bear ornament.
I have a cat. I made a meme. That's about it. What about you, man? What about you guys? Any good gear?
I got some gear last week. We did a full run last night. I didn't get a single piece. Felt kind of bad. But the week before, so last Tuesday, I guess, last Thursday, between Tuesday and Thursday, whatever it was. I might have talked about it last week. But I got the 252 bracers off of XT, which was like the first caster bracers we've
Oh,
seen.
nice.
Ooh, the cloth
Yeah.
ones?
Yeah, the cloth ones. And then they dropped again to
How did you manage to get
last night.
bio on those over your the other casters?
So we use a loot list system, and I
I
didn't
see.
really get phase 1 bracers, so I put phase 2 bracers like really high on my list. So yeah,
I was stuck with the steam bracers for a long time.
yeah. So it took us 11 or 12 weeks for the first pair to drop. So I'm kind of, I don't know. Loot list is weird because it's like, yay, I put it high on my list, but I don't know. It's like it took me 12 weeks to get this piece. So if RNG of loot drops is just frustrating sometimes. And
If I had the same thought process, I would do the same thing with my ring because I've had the Dalaran Signet ring since Wrath launch, and I'm still using it to this day.
That's another piece I put really high was
Yep.
Constellation, or what is that what it's called? Constellus?
Like a
whatever consumption.
Conductive ring.
Conductive. There we go. See
Yeah.
something. There's so many C word gear pieces in Ulduar. But yeah,
I should know this.
I put that up top, so I got the first ring. So suck it. No. But you have Star Shard Edge, so I got nothing on that, and Flare. So
Still want a Valenier.
Doesn't Flare and Conductive, aren't those the two items that stay bis in phase 3?
Just Flare.
Just Flare. What's the ring?
Nebula Band, the 10
Nebula. Yeah, the 10-man
Oh.
Algalon, which is so weird, but I guess so.
Yeah.
But-
I mean, it's kind of cool that 10-man gear. I mean, think about it like this. If 10-man scaled down to always be below 25, would people be running 10-man as much as they are? No, they just wouldn't. Like, it's not bis. Like, you're not running Nax anymore. You know, like, I mean, maybe you are. I haven't stepped into Nax since Ulduar came out. But, like, yeah, so I think it's good that, like, there is 10-man items. I mean, it's the same with, you know, TOGC. There's some 10-man items that are worthwhile running for. So,
yeah. I was at work and stuff got brought up about the guild, like the run last night. So I made up a brief thing of things that went wrong from the raid. Let me find it really quick and go over it. It was kind of like boss by boss. So it's just like I was frustrated last night, right? It was one of those raids kind of like 3 weeks ago when you were watching the one raid, and I was like super like out of my element and just like frustrated. It was getting to that point last night. So we had to fill one spot. Like a lot of people were off this week. There was like 4 or 5 people off this week.
The Ret Paladin story. Please tell the Ret Paladin story.
The Ret Paladin story. What happened?
We don't have a Ret Paladin. Let's just call it.
Yeah. So our raid lead was like, we don't have a Ret Pally. They called out. We're gonna move the raid to Thursday and try to just one night clear on Thursday, which is our second normal raid night and like our last main raid night of the week. And I'm like, dude, like we haven't single night cleared yet. Like if we push everything to Thursday, there's no way we're getting everything down. Like we need 2 nights. Like let's get rid of everything but Yogg Zero and Algalon. Come back Thursday and do that. So that's what ended up being like the the strategy. So we covered all the Ret Pally buffs that we didn't get, and only had 2 Pallies. We went in there, struggled on almost every boss. Algalon, we went the full hour. We were in phase 2, and he ascended to the heavens, and he was gone.
Wait, does that happen mid-fight?
Mid-fight, it happens. Yeah,
mid-fight.
Yeah,
I didn't.
he was
I've
gone.
never seen it. I have no idea.
He flew away, and he was like, "Yeah, taking my 252 loot, and I'm out. I'm gone."
Oh, there's my dream binder in there.
One of our competitor guilds actually had Algalon to like 5%, and he disappears at like 3.5, and he disappeared, and it was week 1 progression too, like when it really mattered,
man,
and he just pieced out at like 5%. It was so sad.
Yeah, we had people. We had a vehicle die on Flame Leviathan. They got frozen. Like vehicles are still getting frozen and dying. We had a gravity bomb dropped in ranged on XT, and this is like the 5th week in a row, and it's so frustrating, man. Like getting pulled like mid cast, and it's just like, dude, who didn't get out? Like, come
you
on.
ever have those like trigger happy rogues that just cloak as soon as they get gravity bomb, and it pulls you like your entire raid into like.
We might have had like one of those. It doesn't happen often, if ever. But yeah, I'd be mad
like
at
one a week for us.
Coligarn, we had a feral druid. No names, but we had a feral druid in our raid.
No names, table slam. No names.
No names. And a warrior, also no names. Our one warrior. They both like fell off behind the boss again this week on the first pull. And then we do the strat now where it's like you only attack the right hand to get the people out, and you're trying to like burn the boss down and then kill the 2 hands like at 30% or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had both of them fall off, and then we had like the second grip thing, and I was gripped. We not enough range, switched to the hand, and 4 of us died in the hand. And it's just like, what is going on? So we had like 6 people dead on Coligarn, and they were just like, wipe it up. Just like, we're going to do this clean. Come on, just wipe it up. So we wiped, reset. Table's like, his horns from his feral druid are in the boss, in Coligarn. And he's sitting there like in stealth, pre-pull. Well, our rogue is like, oh, if he's up there, I can go up there too. Rogue goes up there, ass pulls the boss, and we're just like, ah! So then,
is there a way that Drew can do it over a rogue, or was he just like not stealth or something?
He was stealth, but I guess like there's 3 points ferals can do to increase their stealth.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, and you always pick it up as a feral.
Is that part of your feral? Okay, yeah. That makes more sense.
Ariaya, we had a scuffed opener. There was like, our warlock immediately died. I got bopped like 8 seconds before she respawned, so I had like a second or 2 of the bop immediately, like as soon as the boss spawned, and I was like, okay, I guess I'm safe for 1 GCD.
Isn't it, man? It's okay. I want to point this out. These are mistakes that are so avoidable, and you like think like the guy right next to us is a speedrunner, where if you make this mistake, sorry, buddy, go find another. You know what I mean? Like,
you go next week, yeah.
Is there like a penalty for like failing a mechanic, like 500 gold to the guild bank or anything like that? Or
no, we just don't give you loot and we don't bring you to a speed run.
Yeah, if you can't do a mechanic, you stop getting invited.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
that's what it is. And I mean, with dad guilds, you know, it's you don't want to because like they're your friends, but like there is that weird middle where like you're a semi-pumper guild, but you bring like the middle, you know, like I'm probably like
yeah, we have a couple of those.
We'll
tell right away.
We'll bring
yeah.
All right, let me run through the rest of these so we can get into the boss tips here. I just realized what time it is. Hodir, we had a 2-minute 1 second Hodir kill, if that gives you any indication of how Hodir went.
Did you get the hard mode kill? Because sometimes it gives it to you.
Oh, we got it, but I saw the DBM like timer going for like the shattering the cache or whatever. Our singed fell off. Like I was sitting there trying to break out the frozen NPCs. I'm casting like hard casting starfires on them outside of a beam, like to try to be in range to break these ice things out. Like I was the only one that stacked like 8 extra singed after it fell off. Like I'm the only one sitting by the campfire, and the timer's just going, and I'm like, oh.
Losing Singed is rough.
Thorm, we had a lightning charge death. Our Holy Pally got lightning charged, and then the tank died like 3 seconds after that. And then the Druid that went to B-res, the tank, died from a lightning charge. And it was just like, I've been in that spot as the Druid on that fight. It's hard to like find out who's like where to B-res and then like still avoid the lightning charge and the blizzard, and yeah, it's like you don't want to be in range of chaining the lightning either. So
for sure,
yeah, Freya
that sucks.
Freya, we tried a new strat that Smooth might be doing. So instead of clearing like a lot of the trash, we cleared like the minimum amount of trash, and we kited Freya towards the entrance of the room. For the pods or whatever, because yeah, so it did not go well. We one-shot it, but there was like 10 plus deaths.
That's what we do. It's so nice just to pull Freya back.
I hated it, dude.
It's so much more open right there, so you could just move around instead of having to like, because like a lot of people do it up by where that big tree is, and you kind of limit your mobility. I like it further back.
I like going back and forth across the river.
Oh yeah, we used to do that. We pull way back and we just move.
We can't pull those trash packs anymore though for us, so we have to pull towards the door.
Yeah.
You don't pull any of them, right?
No, we do the 2 lasher packs and that one like 5-pack.
The one in the middle. Yeah.
That's probably all that we did. Yeah.
We also found out that mirror images from Aegis pulls the entire like area during Freya.
Dude, mirror image pulls everything.
Everything. It's so bad.
I still have PTSD of them pulling patchwork.
Can they? can you dismiss a mirror image? I don't think you can, right?
Probably not.
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Like it's not like a buff. It's just like they're up.
Yeah.
Like trance. You can't just delete the trance.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
We had storm bolts going out, and then the storm bolt with the nature ground slam thingy was killing people.
You can dismiss trance, by the way.
You can?
Yes.
I put them on passive. Yeah, I haven't dismissed them. Why would you dismiss a treant? They're so lovely. They're our guardians.
The tree. Yeah, you're right. The treant. Do the treants have like a pet bar?
Yep.
Oh, but the
mirror images do not.
Don't, right?
No.
Okay.
People still like taking damage from the beams on Freya and dying. It was kind of scuffed. We had every death possible like imagined on Memoron. We had 13 deaths. Every single one was avoidable. It was like 5 or 6 to mines. People were getting hit by like the charge up thing where he just like goes a quarter of the room. People died to that, and it's like, guys, get out of there. We had like 3 or 4 people die to like the water bomb. It's like, are you guys looking at your screen? Are you tabbed out? Are you like watching YouTube? Like, what are you doing? Like this, we're in Memoron. Come on.
Yeah, we've tried to make it a thing where like if you die in the first like 2 phases of Memoron, it's just like don't come back kind of thing.
Yeah, thanks for joining the guild.
Yeah, thanks for your trial. Enjoy your application to another one.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you: do you guys do the paladin bop for the mines?
We have a lot of ways of doing it. We don't have a shadow priest, so we don't have obviously dispersion, but we do have a hunter, so he can do the deflection or whatever the ability is, and he can just run past them all. Deterrence.
Because I really like the holy paladin. He'll just he'll bop himself and just run the circle, so all the mines are gone. Oh my god, dream come true. If there's a way for me to die to a mine, I will die to it. And not to say that I can't avoid them. Like, what is the thing he does where melee has to run out? I always forget what it's called.
Shock blast.
Shock blast. So we were in the middle of fire. He just did like the water thing, and now he's like wind up for shock blast. I turned to go because my fault. I didn't check to see like where mines were, and fire had covered the whole area. So I was like, I don't know where mines are. So I dashed and ran the other way and didn't get far enough away from him and died. And I blamed the mines because for all I know there were no mines that way, but I had no faith in the spotting them through the fire. I hate mines.
Yeah,
I think I've got enough off of my chest. There was more things. That was a small taste of how my raid went last night. So
wait, you didn't save Essex. What happened with Vet? I saw.
You saw I leaked the clip, man. Dang it. No, so we do the one pull strat. So All ranges stacked. The first Shadow Crash comes out. The range splits into 2 groups, and each group stands on the edge. That's a key word there. The edge of the Shadow
edge.
Crash void zone. So if one side gets a Shadow Crash, the other side gets to sit there and keep pumping. The one group has to move. What was going on and what's been going on for weeks is there's always that 1 or 2 like people that stand close to the middle, and then they get the Shadow Crash. Now every single ranged has to move. So I was like, one was just far enough in, and I was running, like our group was running into the edge, like the left edge. One of the people from the other group was more towards the middle. They got the Shadow Crash. We ran into the edge, and we got hit by it. And it's like, dude, come on.
Hmm.
But I still pumped on that fight. Like, that was probably my best and like funnest fight of the night, even though it was a bit scuffed because it happened like twice that night. That people were just out of position, and it's like, dude, get to the edge. Come on, it's not that hard. All right, Vezix is done. Boss tips for boomies. This is why we're all here.
All right,
Oh.
yeah, go. I want to hear them.
Smooth. What is your job on Flame Leviathan? I have one tip for Flame Leviathan for boomies, but what are you doing? Are you getting shot up there? Are you driving a vehicle?
Yeah, normally I'm second shot up. So obviously after the first shutdown, I get launched up, spam a couple of wraths, fairy fire each thing. Obviously you can't starfall the turrets, which sucks. So
Yeah.
I try to petition not getting sent up. But it is what it is. I think if I get a good crit right off the bat, then starfires kind of slap those turrets.
Yeah.
If you don't crit, you're kind of dead weight at that point.
Do you
yeah.
apply Earth and Moon to the boss
course.
after you kill it? Okay.
Yep. So as soon as I land, also another tip is don't get launched in the air. You want to leave vehicle so you fall to the ground immediately, and then you spam your wraths. We have like assigned helicopter or chopper that like pick you up. I stand beside mine and spam a couple of wraths. But the shutdown is for like 10 seconds or so, like 15 seconds. So I kind of stand there and I just spam wrath if I can. I drop trees, I starfire, starfall. Try and get all my dots up because that's how you parse on that fight. You have to actually do damage with your character. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And then because of speedrunning strats, we all try to make it towards the teleporter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 'cause you guys head back. You guys head back towards the entrance.
We go to the
right?
teleporter. Yep.
Yeah.
When does your speed run start? Is it as soon as
It's
Flame
after
Leviathan
FL
dies?
Yep.
Okay.
The moment. So then you guys are pre-buffing. Like
We're already buffed.
A lot
we
of
have rocket cluster launcher for the extra stam, all that shit.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, so like most people, most guilds, I'm assuming, they do Flame Leviathan. They get to the middle between Razor guy and
Scale. He can't
Ignis,
say Razor Scale. He's been trying for weeks. He's like,
whatever. I know it's Razor something. It's Razor.
It's like
Gore or
Razor
Scale.
Claw.
I'm not the only one that makes this mistake. I don't feel bad. It is what it is. Yeah, and then they buff up there. Whereas when you're speed running, because as soon as Flame Leviathan dies, your clock is going. You've got to already be buffed and ready to go. Run to the teleport, take the other teleport, and I'm assuming you guys do the thing where you grab the 2 dudes
giants
and
go to Razor
nuts.
Scale and start the yep. And we have a hunter pull all the mobs at Ignis Trash. So then we got the Crusader Aura Mastery to mount up over there with our drums, and we zoom straight to Ignis, and then we do the 2 molten golems that troll around with Ignis.
Okay, cool.
Interesting.
They don't do anything. They have a frontal flame breath. It's like what? It's nothing.
It's like ignorable.
Yeah.
I think I really like I don't want to speed run, but I hate standing there after Leviathan. I'm like, come on, let's go. Let's just pull. It's only 2 mobs. People can drink or we could pre-buff because we're all standing around anyway, like before Leviathan. Because I hate standing there. I
hate downtime too. That's why I kind of enjoy the speedrunning aspect, even though I enjoy parsing more. It's like there's no stopping. I did a parsing guild in TBC with a guild called Phoenix God on Farlina, and it was high up there on my warlock. and we sat there for bloodlust. We like waited for chickens. It was like a 6-hour raid
Oh,
to
yeah,
do something you can do in
chickens.
like an hour, right? It's so obnoxious. So
Yeah.
it's definitely a lot more fun to just you keep going.
Go.
If somebody dies, you got to coordinate battle reses. You have your cables with a hard res at the same time. Like it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ignis.
Ooh.
Do you stand under the ledge for Ignis so you're not getting like knocked up, or any special stuff for Ignis that you're
No,
doing?
we talked about doing something in the water because that's where there's a ledge. But at the end of the day, it's not really worth. But we do aura mastery, fire, and conch so that you have a chance to resist the knockup. So that's pretty much all we do on Ignis. There's nothing like too crazy on it.
Getting that resist feels so good.
Yeah, but you still have to stop, right? So it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Or being a GCD from putting up an instant cast,
yeah,
if you're
true.
lucky, yeah.
Yeah.
Razor
The
scale, do you get a bop on razor scale?
I guess I got a bop on Razor Scale.
Nice. I'm supposed to, but it's a 50-50 chance. I might get
Oh.
it while I'm in the air. I might just not get it. I might get a salve instead because the pally's like, oh, salve, bop, this is the same ability.
One
what
thing
are
that
Oh, because
keybinds?
they don't realize why you want the thing.
Yeah.
That's troll. That's
I don't know if your
troll.
guilds do this or not, but sometimes the tank moves Razor Scale for fire, and it's like the most troll thing ever. And I just like when I do pugs and I see tanks move the boss, it's just like just move the DPS, just move. It's like stop moving the boss, keep them there.
I think I saw your, it was like your mage in that run, and that
Yeah,
happened. You're like, dude, stop moving. The tank's moving the boss.
it was so
I
fast.
I had it happen. Oh God, what was it? I had the same thing happen where like you the oh my God, I remember. So have you guys have done VOA? You know the first boss, not the new boss, the first boss.
Mhm.
The tank ran in and took him to the back wall, and I'm sitting there like all the casters have to run. What are you doing? Like just fight him. Just tank him anywhere. It doesn't matter. There's no big mechanics. It's VOA in phase 2. And I was so irritated that I had to like chase this stupid tank down, and I'm like, but yeah, I hate that
It went
when the
bear
tank.
form and taunted it.
It crossed my mind. I was like, I'll just do this. I don't have time for it. But like, I wanted to parse, so those big VOA boss 1 parses are. How else am I gonna get into a pug if I
It's
can't
kind of
link
like
the
a
boxes?
target dummy where you can actually test like getting buffed and stuff too.
That's literally why I was in VOA this
Mhm.
week, was because we got that
You
buff
want
and I
to test
wanted
the
to
fair
test it.
fire.
Yeah,
thing, yeah.
there's absolutely no consequences to anything. Like if you die, who cares? It's one boss. They're gonna clear it. There's always a B res coming your way anyway. It's fine.
You're never gonna see those people again.
Yeah,
Great.
your guild's not gonna be disappointed in you when you're like, what happened? I died on the VOA boss.
Yeah.
Ooh. Well, we're gonna have to relook at the roster for this week then, because
All right, XT. I
Ooh.
think I saw you do an XT. It might have been on one of your main tunes. Do you guys like pull it towards the entrance of the room and then all the range goes towards the stairs?
Yeah, so if you pull XT to the door, then you don't get like the certain mobs that come out during the heart transition.
Mhm.
So you kind of skip a couple of mobs. But we're kind of like we're bringing it too close to the door, so we're still getting it. Whereas if you brought it more towards the middle, I think you don't actually get like any mobs. We had that in one of our runs, I think this week actually. It's like we just didn't get
Oh.
anything. We had like no pummelers, we had no robots, we had like no bombs. It was crazy.
That's a good tip for parsers for sure, because you don't have to ever stop focus, right?
No, parsers want those ads as much as possible because
Because
all those ads
they
count
count,
towards your
yeah.
part. Yeah, so you just cleave it all down.
Oh, I didn't
That's
think
where
they
your warlocks
did.
get your seeds and stuff.
It's where the Boomie
Oh, okay.
sends out a typhoon one way and a hurricane the other way and a starfall over here. And
Yeah.
so what are you doing for like the heart phase? Like how do your cooldowns look on
So
XT?
it's kind of dumb, right? Like the parse starts the moment you transition into hard mode, right? Whereas we lust for the heart, so I get half of my stuff already on cooldown before we even transition in. So like my XT parse is already down the drain forever, pretty much. But yeah, I try and get a good lunar eclipse going into the heart, and then I drop trees and literally blow my load on the heart.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Dude, nothing feels better on that fight than having a full lunar for the whole heart phase. It's just like,
Mhm.
yes. Starfire crit after Starfire crit.
Does the heart count actually? I don't know. Apparently somebody says that the heart counts, but yeah, that's good to know. But
I
still
thought
can't get a good parse on that.
yeah, I thought everything counted.
Mhm. I have to check the thing again because I know they did a recrawl, so I haven't actually checked parsing strats since the recrawl.
Yeah.
Probably should do that.
Cause yeah, heart damage counts. So
All right, well, fair enough.
I assume that before the heart counts too. Yeah.
I'll have to check that.
Where do you guys go after? You go to Algalon or do you go Iron Council or?
We have a rogue that stealths past when we're doing the trash in the hallway, and activates Algalon while we do Iron Council because he's still untargetable halfway through Iron Council fight, during his RP. So usually by the time we kill Iron Council, and we're on our way to Algalon, that's when the actual RP is over. Because if you go straight to Algalon, you have to wait like a minute and a half. It's like it's crazy.
Yeah. Dang.
Yeah, we clear the trash. I guess that does make sense to have a rogue if you've got the key, because we'll clear the trash and then head back so that we can get the same reason, get the Algalon started. But we don't send a rogue, but that's smart. I mean, we do that stupid. I'm assuming you guys do it, the Mimi skip, but we don't do that, which I mean makes a lot of sense.
We have a Holy Paladin that does the Mimron skip right after we kill Kologarn, so he has his TBC rocket boots and his belt and all that stuff on for Kologarn, or he has it queued right after, and then he leaves with a fear ward on himself because he doesn't help us do Araya. And normally when you're going through the skip past Mimron, you get feared because it's a raid wide fear on Araya. So we actually had an issue where I think it was last week. Our Holy Paladin got feared on the tram, and it
Off
put
the
him.
tram?
No, you can't get feared off the tram, but it put him to the ledge, like the bridge or whatever that you go onto afterwards. Like it feared him onto the edge of the tram, and as soon as the tram stopped in front of Mimron's pathway, he fell. Like he just fell. He couldn't jump. He couldn't move. He went through the crack, and he died. Obviously, so it screwed our skip up.
Oh, that's crazy.
Dang.
So we're now putting a fear ward, and we only use one priest. So now our priest doesn't have fear ward for Araya. So hopefully we're just banking on a tremor
A
tick.
good shaman, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to take it off the rails with that, but so Algalon's. Oh, you said you do Iron Council next, right?
Yeah, Iron Council into Algalon. Yeah.
How many
But
do you just do like 2 blue runes, I guess, and then like your second one, or are you waiting for like a third blue rune? How's it working?
I'm trying to convince them to lust on the second guy after the first green, because normally you get a green on top of your second rune after you kill the first guy, of course, because the first guy doesn't matter. So you get the blue rune, and then you get another blue rune into a green, and then the boss is usually around like 40% or like 35. I'm trying to get them to lust as soon as we get into that blue after the first green, because we're killing it before we get our third blue, and then we just don't have a blue.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to send that lust so that we have a couple of seconds of blue going into the third phase rather than no blue, or we're forced to sit there and wait for him to potentially cast another, like our third blue, but that also goes on top of the second green circle.
Yeah.
And it's like a 50-50 where you get a blue into a green circle right on top of each other, and then you're just wiped. So this it counteracts like that whole thing, and it's now not RNG. Now it's 100% a kill, but it could be a little bit slower. Like it's kind of, I think it's better.
We finally had the DPS this week to kill it before the first tank died. That felt really good.
Oh, yeah.
That's always great.
I was like, "Ooh, wait, we pushed that? Oh yeah." But yeah, there's no shot we could do that without a blue rune. But I imagine you guys probably could.
Yeah, if we did it without a blue rune, we'd have one tank death. But the way that we're doing it right now is we're killing it like right as the tank dies. So yeah.
That sucks. I mean, that's good though. I'm assuming, do you guys like pre-soulstone or do you just do a res right there?
We should have a pre-soulstone. We've had some issues in the past couple of weeks where our warlocks forgot to soulstone the tank, and it's become a
That's
problem.
time
But
right there. Yeah.
it is a lot of time. However, the one crazy thing is yesterday in our speed run, our warrior tank, because we do a prot pally main tank warrior off tank who like swaps for DPS.
Mhm.
He decided to release after the trash pack in front of Kolgarn stairs instead of get rezzed. And we were at Iron Council, and he was just taking the teleporter back in front of Kolgarn. So we had to wait for him. We had to like drop a stone and shit. So like that was
So,
like 2 or 3 minutes. Like it's just
What
dead.
guild is he in now? Did he change?
Yeah.
Obviously, he got kicked.
He's
so.
actually one of our officers. So
Oh, so he's got a little bit of protection.
yeah,
I see. Oh,
good
that's
one.
so
I like
funny.
that.
All right, so Algalon, you're pumping on Algalon. Shout out to GT who's in the chat who made a video on how to parse Algalon for Boomies. Let me get the link.
I'll never be able to watch it.
let me get the link to that while you explain how you do Algalon.
My Algalon is pretty much the same every week. I don't really change it up. Obviously we get lost right off the start, so I drop trees, but Fairy Fire first. I really should just let the Feral do it. I don't know why, but it's like it's a habit to always Fairy
Innate.
Fire because I know that I have 100% uptime on my Fairy Fires, so I don't really trust anyone else to do it. Which kind of screws over my parsing a little bit because I could just drop trees right away into Starfall. But other than that, like I just sit on the side of the wall. I don't touch any star after the first one. Normally, I get my Lunar Eclipse off the boss before the first 4 stars spawn, and then every range swaps to the first star, and I kind of just blow it up with my crits.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I just do the normal rotation. I think every Boomie knows the rotation of keeping your insects warm up, all that stuff.
Are you doing any knockbacks with your Typhoon on the any of the ads? Yeah.
I always try and get at least one Typhoon up before I take the portal. Yeah. Other than that, I think
Are
that
Boomies any good for doing the stars, or you have to have someone that can just disperse?
we do
or...
Hunters. I think is the best to do stars.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm pretty good at doing stars. I think we do 3 stars Big Bang, 2 stars Big Bang 1, something like that.
We used to have a hunter do it, and then we recruited this guy named Scotty J, and he was like, "Oh, mates, I've got this." And
Mates,
yeah,
broth,
And,
I've got it.
dude, he was failing us hard last night. Like we didn't get Algalon last night because of Scotty, so.
I hear that.
But yeah, he's been trying to do the 1 star and then 3 during Big Bang. And it got scuffed like one time. Like one of the stars like got to 1% and it was at 1% for like 3 seconds, he said. So it popped after we came out. And they're supposed to lose 1% per second, so like it should have died and it didn't. It was like, no, I'm gonna stay around for a little while.
I'm not really too like knowledgeable on Warlock and Wrath that much, but there are some strats where you put a Curse of Doom up at like 55 seconds before the first Big Bang, and the star is supposed to die when everybody's underneath, and it saves you an entire star worth of damage.
Yeah.
And I think you can do that on 3 stars too.
Yeah, that's the strat.
It's
when everyone goes into the Big Bang, you get 3 stars to die,
Yeah,
and as long as your Shadow Priest is dispersed, it's smooth.
We don't use a
the
Shadow
problem
Priest, we use a Rogue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, but the problem is you got to be really accurate to to do all.
It's like it's down to like the math kind of like every second count, like every millisecond
just
count.
Staring at that weak aura, like okay, I think if I time this just right, yeah.
We
And there can't be like any AOE on it or anything. Like it's just
We kept having
No
what
cleave
like
damage.
the
stuff
second
like that.
star kept going into melee range, like cleave range, and it was like, oh well, I guess we're doing 2 before, 2 during. Like, yeah, it's a weird fight. So
Yeah.
you're star falling throughout the fight though, because you're standing
I
off to
am.
the side.
Yeah, I'm spamming it off cooldown as much as possible. Obviously, I'm taking a look around the room to see if there's one beside me, but I have the weak aura range finder for my starfall, so like if one comes in a range, like I already know if it's gonna get hit or not. So I kind of plan around that. It's a quite nice weak aura.
You just let it hit it. You don't have like a cancel
I
starfall
don't
macro.
even. I have a cancel starfall
Mm.
macro, and I normally only use it on Loathid for spores. So that's about it.
That's fair.
Other than that, like I do use it every once in a while, but yeah, I just let it rip. It was my parse.
So for Kolagarn, are you multi-dotting? Are you insect swarming both hands and the boss? Are you fairy firing both hands the boss? What are you doing?
You know that's probably one of the only fights that I should probably see what other druids are doing. It's a 3 target encounter, so like I don't think Hurricane's worth using.
Yeah, probably not.
Or Typhoon maybe. I am putting Fair Fire on all 3, and I'm insect swarming all 3. But it's still in a work in progress right now.
You've got me
How
thinking
often are
though.
you guys dodging? How often are you guys dodging beams? Like, is that a big issue still, or is it
I
more
stand
like
right in the
every once
center,
in a
and
while?
I like our entire raid usually just like rocket boots to the middle or in melee range, and we just sit there. So if we get eye beams, it's literally hitting the entire raid. Yeah, we stand in pump, and we hopefully have like a DSAC rolling, but yeah.
Yeah.
Pop bark
Yeah,
skin,
because I was say
pray.
maybe you could typhoon
pray.
when you're moving away from beam, but you're probably not even
I
doing
am
that. You're
not
like, nope.
moving. Yeah.
Yeah, but you had me thinking like maybe a typhoon first GCD to get like a Nature's Grace.
Yeah, just trying to. Yeah, I actually do that. Fairy Fire, obviously 100% of the time first on Kolagarn's chest,
Yeah.
and then Typhoon, but maybe I should swap it up. Not really sure.
Yeah, I think I like Fairy Fire, Tree, Starfall, and then just keep going. Like I'll insect swarm. Now that we're just like burning boss, I just main focus boss. I'm not multi-dotting. I'm not insect
my
swarming everything.
If my trees are anything after the second GCD, I've missed Lust. So I always have to tree second GCD or it's just over for me.
Yeah, same. Yep. Ooh, what's the next fight? Is it Ariaya?
Oh yeah.
Ariaya. So you guys doing
Skip
the
cat,
You guys aren't
single
doing.
target Araya, don't touch cats.
Yeah, not even the first 4. Like I mean, you're popping
Nope.
Starfall on the rip, right?
Yeah, we got passive cleave, but if we see blizzards, we're like, why are you casting blizzard right now? Kind of thing. Like
Oh yeah.
we pull boss and everybody's hopefully sappers, maybe.
Yeah.
But if the boss dies within a minute, I don't think it is right now, but people that have drums, aka myself, I dropped enchanting for leatherworking, so I give all the warlocks drums. I have to not nade now. So that's also my parts down the drain. I can't use nades as much. Maybe at the start of a pull, but I can't get a second one in. Because they share cooldown with drums, unfortunately.
Oh, they
Yeah.
do. That's so weird.
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah, REI has been frustrating me lately. Ever since we've started doing the whole reset thing, it can be good. It has the potential to be good. We just haven't got it down yet. After
Yeah, I don't like the
5
reset.
weeks.
It depends on how much your damage is. When we were doing splits, we had to kill the first guardian cat because she would just go around interrupting us all, and it was a mess. But now that we have like our full entire like main raid kind of in the group, our DPS is good enough to that we can ignore all of the ads and just kill her within the stun DR on the cat, and hopefully she doesn't kill us all.
Do you have any deaths on Ariaya like week to week? Is there like usually like at least 1 or 2 deaths or?
Me personally, I have died once from a fear into a pounce, and it was like the brutal thing. But that was like pre-nerf when the cat hit you like 12 times in like 0.1 seconds or something like that when she jumped you. But now that they nerfed it a little bit, I haven't personally died on it in a while, unless I rip cat aggro with Starfall Hurricane because that's how you parse on that fight.
Yeah.
But no, I don't really think that many people are dying on Araya anymore now that we're speedrunning.
Nice.
But to be determined, I guess.
So Thorum, how does I'm assuming you're going through the hallway. How does
I
your
do hallway up.
how does your hallway work? Like, is your tank pulling the first 6 ads like all the way to the first giant at the end of that hallway, or like how are they
Yes,
doing that?
it's a mix every week, right? It's like sometimes the range like to be in melee and get whirlwind and to die. Other times they multi-dot them and then pull guardian threat. But what you're really supposed to do is you're supposed to just dot the acolyte and let him run through with the guardians. Because the acolyte doesn't really matter. You can tank him as a caster. I don't think he'd do much damage. We're trying to pull 6. I think we're getting aggro in the first 3, and then moving to the second pack. But I think that's to be changed soon. Other than that, the hallway's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Our tank doesn't like us typhooning the second pack on the stairwell after that mob. He freaks out every time we do it, but everybody else in that raid agrees that it is a time save.
Yeah.
Because it also
you're
pushes the
pushing it
acolyte.
toward. Yeah.
Yeah, you're pushing up the stairs.
Pushing it,
Yeah,
yeah.
and we had 3 boomkins once in a split raid, and it was good times. But the hallway is the same as every other hallway, I guess.
Okay.
Is there? I'm thinking of the hallway, but is there any like kind of danger spot for a speed run where like it's more likely someone might die? Because I feel like if you're trying to rush that hallway, which I guess, I mean, I don't know how big of a deal it is to shave time there, but like, are there places where like you're trying to cut corners so much that like people tend to die? Because the hallway makes me think of like that's a place where someone's
Just
gonna
on
die.
Thorm specifically, or in just the raid?
Just throughout the raid, because like there's got to be places where like as a speedrunner, everyone's like, okay, just don't die here, guys, just don't.
There are. I'll get to that on the next boss because that's the one that makes sense.
Okay.
I think we're on
Great,
Thorum.
great.
But for Thorum, it's honestly like you can't really cut corners much on that fight. You just go through the hallway as fast as you can. Range, use your range spells, not in melee. Obviously.
Yeah.
We wanted to try and do like some FAP strategy so that the tank can kind of just run through, but he needs his shield wall and he'll get like I don't know, like pot cooldown or something like he needs for the boss, so he can't FAP. We were also thinking maybe we send like a DK through the tunnel because he can just icebound those ads.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we're just keeping our pally through it. Kill all the ads. We rocket boot after the second big guy that opens the door.
Mm-hmm.
So,
are you one tanking it then?
Think so. I'm pretty sure we might start one tanking it. I know we normally do. So, yeah.
Where's your position at down below after like the boss starts?
It changes every goddamn week.
No.
Yeah, we have an assignment sheet, so like
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's where I am is where I am. I have to make sure I pay attention to where I am. Sometimes I don't know where I am when I'm rocket booting down that hallway, and I have to like quickly look at my other screen, and be like, oh shit, I am position B. Okay, that's like, but I'm getting better at paying attention to where my position is before the run starts. So.
Do you have a preferred place? Because I definitely do.
Obviously behind Thorum.
Like immediately
right
drop down.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Oh, that I'm so glad I have that spot because I was assigned. If you're coming into the like first boss room, it's on like 3:00 or whatever, like 2:00, I guess, over there, and I hated that spot. And then I got moved over there to like the whole quadrant, like below the drop off, and I'm like, yes, this is perfect.
My second best preferred spot on that fight is the spot right in front of the lever.
Mm-hmm.
I think that one gets less beams, but my position is on. I guess when you're jumping off the platform, it's on the left side.
Yeah, that's where I hated that spot.
Yeah, that I got like 3 or 4 beams in a row, and it's not fun.
There's blizzards all the time. It feels like over
Yeah,
there.
it's so shit. So I've been trying to petition getting myself on either A, which is underneath the platform, or beside the lever. But yeah, that fight is pretty much like cookie cutter standard. Like there's not much you can change on that. Obviously we're using drums after every boss, in every group, so that helps us get out of there. Hopefully we don't get a grief blizzard in front of the doorway. But yeah, that's about it.
Freya, we're at the boss where I guess you guys are getting kind of sketchy on your pulls. What's going on with Freya?
So Warcraft logs changed the way their crawl works on Freya. You now have to kill all 6 ads rather than the potential Zerg as soon as you see a tree
Mhm.
with mushrooms, because you can now kill Freya, or you could have killed Freya with one tree mushroom or whatever. Some sweaty parse guilds do that. I don't think you can in a speedrun setting, but like fourth, like the fourth wave, second tree, um, is a huge time save, and it's RNG, right? You could get tree on the sixth guy, or the fifth, which is what we were normally doing. But now that you have to kill all six, if we get tree guy on the sixth spawn, which is the second set, um, we still zug Freya, but then we kill tree guy right before we kill Freya to save our time.
So there's
So we're like
still
passive
cheese.
cleaving the tree. Yeah, there still is a potential bit of cheese. Like if you get tree guy on like 1 and 4, you have to kill the sixth set before you touch Freya. But if you get the tree guy on 6, you can still kind of zerg Freya
Yeah.
and then kill the tree guy right
Yeah.
before. So there's still a little bit of RNG in there. So that's kind of like what we're dealing with, and there's a whole bunch of shit going on. You got Nature's Fury, everybody stacking on one mushroom, getting beamed and stuff. But
Mhm. Are you knocking back the lashers? Is that your assignment, or is it mages? Is it shamans?
we do the tree, or we do the hunter entanglement
Hmm.
or entrapment. But normally we're killing the ads before my Typhoon actually even pushes them back. So I'm just using Typhoon as like a damage dealer when they're still rooted, because I want to get it off rather than just. Yeah, maybe I should just hurricane them until they're dead. I don't know. It's probably better.
Okay. And are
Yeah.
you just popping Starfall like on certain packs so it's back up, or you just kind of like putting it off cooldown? Like doesn't matter which ad sets up.
I prefer using Starfall in the 3-pack, and the tiny guys, but the
Yeah.
tiny guys kind of soaks up all your Starfalls. I guess it's probably more worth because of the splash damage. But Starfall on the mushroom with the 50% bonus damage is pretty good. So I'm like still figuring it out,
Yeah.
but I definitely have an idea of what I want to do with it. I have been using Starfalls like on every Lasher pack, so
Yeah, I'd been
maybe
holding mine.
change that.
Yeah, I'd been holding mine, and it just felt so bad sitting there holding it for so long. So I'm still kind of like trying to figure out where I want to use it, like more and more. Like, do I
Well,
just
we kill
send it
the ads
whenever? Yeah.
way too fast, and so my Starfall is like on cooldown for like 80% of the time
Mm-hmm.
when the next ads spawn. So it's like, do I hold? Like, I don't even like holding Starfall because you send it at the very start of the ad spawn, and then the next pack it's on 30-second cooldown, and it's up like while the ads are still alive, but they got 5%. It's just like,
I guess it should be packs like 1, 3, and 5, so it's up for the boss too.
mhm.
If you do
But,
2, 4,
but then you have
6,
that RNG factor, whereas if you know you're gonna get a tree, you kind of it's just like
yeah.
you have to hold because like you need to pump the boss, and it's like okay.
Yeah. All right. Memoron. How does the whole thing work for you guys for Memoron? Like, how is your tank positioning the boss in phase 1? Because ours like pulls it towards the button, and then pulls it towards the middle, then pulls it like in a little V shape, and then hopefully it's dead by the time like the second like the flame suppressant comes out. But
Well, our damage is good enough to the point where we're getting a flame suppress at like 2% before we phase. So if we can, you want to get a flame suppress before transitioning into the second phase, because then you just have no fire, which is great. But honestly, we kind of just play the fire to ear. Yeah, I don't know. Just make sure you don't spread fire everywhere. It's not something that I really like focus on too much. Just don't stand in fire. If I have fire that spawned on me, a lot of DPS they have that common mistake of, oh, just sidestep it and then keep pumping. But it's just like, no, you get away from that fire because it'll keep following you, and then you have to keep sidestepping every like block it follows you, right? So
yeah, it's like the
I tend
clouds
to
on
just
Yogg.
yeah.
You don't keep shifting left in front of the
Yeah, you
cloud.
go all the way around it, and then you
Yeah.
wait for the whole cycle, kind
Mhm.
of, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that I don't know. Nimron is another beast, I guess. Like, just avoid fire, don't stand in fire, don't die to bombs, and you'll kill it. I don't think we have anything crazy to like shave time off on Mimron, other than nobody can die. That's like the only thing that we're doing right now. Obviously, subject to change as we as we do that boss. But right now, I don't think we have any crazy strategies for it right now.
You guys are doing like the Mimiron skip though for the reset, right?
For the reset, like you mean having the teleporter?
Because you said you send a paladin so that you can get the okay.
Yeah.
And that
we
in
are doing
itself
some
is a
TBC.
huge shave.
We're probably gonna start implementing like the TBC rocket boots right after Freya kill, so that we can like extreme rocket boot overhead Mimron, and we land at the button from the top of the platform. Because you can't do it with normal rocket boots. You have to use TBC with drums, and then hopefully you don't like
time your parachute just right. Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully you don't pull the boss while being overhead of him. I've tried it once. You have to kind of do a diagonal. So you're landing beside him rather than over top of him, and it's just like, it could work. We're working on it. It'll be some majestic to watch when
that sounds sick.
TBC rocket boots. So I'm waiting for that.
Sounds like the SSC like pipe, rocket boot. I forget what guild it was that did it.
Oh, on the top.
Yeah, they were all rocket booted and tried to like from.
Yeah, there's pipes above the whole of SSC, and if you can get up there, you can skip everything and go wherever you want.
That was like world first progression, right? They skipped everything and went straight to Bash. Yeah, we all.
And then they're like, "Oh, we're not gonna allow that anymore." Like,
yeah,
okay.
Like, nope.
Is Blizzard 1 week?
But at the same time,
yeah,
come on.
Anything goes for progression. You can exploit the hell out of anything, right?
Blizzard will put like an invisible wall in front of like Mimron, and then you guys won't even know, and you're just gonna like go hit the wall, go down it, and then still go forward after you've got to the bottom of the wall. Pull the boss.
That'd be cool if it was like a bug zapper instead. Like if you're hitting it that high, it just kills you.
Yeah. So you guys are all still spread for phase 1 Mimiron, right? So you're not like getting more than one person with that the fire thingy.
We all use one side of the room, pretty much, or at least we try. And then we have a fire kiter. But obviously the phase 1 fire doesn't really matter because of flame suppress. So kind of just like personal accountability. If you have fire on you, bring it to a wall, kind of thing. And we have a weak or a fire ticker, so we know when fires happen. So we can kind of like pre-plan, get close to a wall kind of thing.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I forget what the other one's called, but it's the other fire that like puts a dot on you, and if you're stacked next to somebody, it'll hit 2 or 3 targets. Yeah, napalm. Mm-hmm. You guys are spread for napalm still, right?
Yeah, it's like 6 yards, so we're still like cozy beside each other, but we make sure that we're not 6 yards between each other.
Cool. And phase 2, what's phase 2? Is there anything special?
Just blast the boss. We're killing the boss before the pew pew laser's over, so we're not really getting much damage. We're rotating D-Sacs on the fire pulses, and then we're just killing the boss.
So you're saving lust for phase 4, I guess.
No, we're lusting phase 2.
You are lusting.
I think lusting last phase is like a 10-man strat. Maybe if we get like everybody entirely full bisque by the end of the phase, we'll lust phase 4. But while people are still getting gear and TPS isn't quite there yet, we're lusting the second phase still.
In phase 3, are you helping out with the assault bots? Are you like typhooning any of the bombs or anything like that? Or are you just focused on the head?
I don't typhoon bots. No, if we have a DK kiting, so it's kind of like there should always be a chains of ice on it. Mm-hmm. But nah, I'm pumping head until the bot comes out, and then everyone swaps to the bot. We burst the bot and we drop the head down ASAP, kind of where it spawns or where it is, even if it's in fire. Just because you want that uptime.
And you're popping. Are you saving Starfall for that?
Yeah. I have been trying to save Starfall for when the head lands. It's really hard to not pop that with all the ads up before the head is down, but I know it's more of a DPS increase.
Yeah, I'm yelling at my screen like for the melee to throw the bomb and bring it down. I'm like, come on, Starfall's up, throw it. And phase 4, what are you on the head? You on the body? Both?
I'm literally just everything. Insect Swarm, all 3 because of 4-piece, and just sit on head until it gets low. Head's dying a lot faster because of our warlocks are like massive pumpers. So I try to just stay on chest as much because people like to tunnel certain things, and the chest is usually the one that gets left out the most.
Yeah. All right. We're running a little short on time here. Let's get to Vezex. You guys are just pumping it to 5% as fast as you can.
Fast as possible. Always have a dark rune on Vezex is my recommendation. Dark runes are OP.
You doing the one pull strat too, where everybody's on the edge, or
We try to, we have assigned group 3 left, group 4 right on one puddle. There's some other strats that we might use, which is like crisscrossing on one puddle for depending on where the crash happens, but to be announced kind of thing. We tried it once and it was messy, but in theory it's better strat. Other than that, I'm fishing a couple of wraths for my lunar proc. If I don't get it, I'm just spamming Starfire the entire fight.
yeah.
With insect swarm procs on move kind of thing.
Are you only using one spec the entire run?
I am using one spec the entire run. I am not swapping.
Are you swapping glyphs?
I take in and out Typhoon. That's pretty much it. I try to swap Typhoon out like 5 or 6 times, I think.
So do you have focus then?
Nope.
No focus? Okay. So
No
even
focus.
even on Algalon, you don't have focus.
Nope.
Okay. Because I know it's really helpful to not have focus on Vezex, and I forgot that I took it off of the spec that I have for Vezex, and I'd only used like one in phase 1, and then like towards it was getting close to like 5%, and I was like, oh well, I can't use another one now because it's already too close. And I was like,
I
man,
could focus on Algalon. I haven't actually. I have the glyphs in there because that was like one of my plans was to put focus on for Algalon, but I think because I'm using the wall, it doesn't really matter for me that much. Like I'm not really worried about it.
yeah.
And I get to sometimes hit the stars when they come into range, which helps my parse a little bit, so why not?
I've seen like range for Elgalon. They either some spread out and some stack. That way they can all just move one spot and they're done. What do speedrunners do?
For like melee purposes, we all stand on right leg, and then when a Cosmic Smash goes out, like they all just move to the left leg for the explosion, and they move back to the right leg, even if it doesn't spawn, because like you can't see the ground with your 5 death and decays on the ground. Like you can't see anything, right? Like it's red on red. So it's like everybody stacks on the right leg, Cosmic Smash goes out, you move to the left, it goes off, you move back to the right. No
What
matter
about casters?
casters, just you just move to the
Spread
side
out.
step. Yeah.
So
Most of the time.
we've had our our caster stacked, and it feels really bad. And
Yeah.
this week for the first time we had our Holy Pally stand off to the side. So the Holy Pally's just standing there by themselves. They'd never move. So they're like 10 plus yards away from the melee, and they're also like 10 plus yards away from the ranged. But yeah, the Holy Pally's just sitting in one spot the whole fight now, just pumping, and all of our ranged has to move. And we had a little taste of not having to move. We got to spread. We gave it like 2 or 3 attempts, and like there was no ranged issues. It was all melee. I'm blaming the melee. It was all the tanks dying because tanks are squishy, and we had to go back to single stacking for an unknown reason, and I was mad. But yeah, Vezex we're done with. Yeah, Yogg.
Yogg.
Yep. Always the last one. I got like 3 minutes before I gotta hop over to this GKP that I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yogg phase 1, we do like 3 or 4 spawns. We're trying to potentially get 5, maybe.
Wait,
Depends if we
on
can do it.
pull?
We 2 tank it,
Oh.
so we have really good control over our ads, supposedly. So it gives me a really good starfall right off the bat. And then phase 1 is kind of like we're trying this all casters stand in one spot, and we let clouds go past us, and we spawn it intentionally, so that none of the range have to move. But it's
Cool idea.
still
Yeah,
to
but-
be touched on, I guess. So phase 1 it's still phase 1. We try and get through that within like a minute or something like that. We have a timer that like under a minute 20 is best. So phase 1 is pretty much the same. Just spawn a lot of ads, kill them all, or
Yeah,
they kill us.
I hate phase 1. It's just like get through it.
Yeah.
You know?
Phase 2, we have portal
Yeah.
assignments. I go into the portal. I destroy the brain. I am trying to hot myself because we don't send a healer down there, and we're forced to do 0 light for speedrunning. Otherwise, you get penalized. So we know we don't send a healer, and my job is to starfall all tentacles. Depending on the room, because one of the rooms with the pillars in it, Starfall doesn't hit them because they're on like a different level, because you're supposed to run to the center and Starfall, but it doesn't trigger or something like that, even if they're in range and in sight. So it's a problem a little bit, but if I don't haunt myself while I'm running in there to Starfall, I can potentially die to the Thorns damage if it's a good room if I hit them all.
Yeah, I've done
So
that.
I gotta be careful. You Starfall, haunt yourself, couple life blooms, bark skin, blast them all, and then you go into the brain. You pump brain. We're potentially thinking about one phasing the brain, but right now we're still two phasing it. We're getting it to like 50% in the
Yeah.
first phase,
That's really good though.
which is very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, phase 3, we're all behind the boss, and we kind of just zug the boss. We stare through the ability
The
that drains
gaze.
the gaze. Yeah.
Yeah.
We just like we're supposed to pop D-Sack so that you don't take the damage or extra damage and push back. Might get a Aura Mastery conk in there so you don't get pushed back, and you just stare at the gaze and you just pump brain or yog or whatever. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You just kill it before we die.
What's the closest insanity or whatever it's called you gotten? Like how low have you gotten?
I can play with 2 sanity. It doesn't matter. I've gotten to 2 before.
8. I got to 8 and I was like, oh my god, I'm crazy. I'm a rebel.
Yeah, I definitely play with 2 sometimes, but normally I'm really good with my sanity, and I go into the 3rd phase with like over 75, so I plan my my lunar eclipses to just sit there with Barkskin, and I just pump the boss with lunar. And if I get wrath eclipses during gaze, I sometimes turn around, like dodge a couple of ticks, but most of the time I'm just sitting there staring at him.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
I have thought about. I don't know if it's actually a thing or if it was like a meme. But if you have the insane title, you can stare at the boss and not lose sanity. I don't know if that's actually a thing, but I was planning on farming the insane title just so I could parse more on that fight. But I don't think
I'm halfway there. If that ends up being true, I will finish it this week.
Yeah,
all I have left
I'll start
to do
it
is
if that's it. Yeah.
Dude, it's not something you could just pick up. It takes like weeks and weeks of grinding. Oh my gosh. So what's your speed run time? Really quick.
We are at like 111 or something like that, but our yesterday's speedrun was like 119 because we wiped on Yogg and our tank thing at Colgarn, whatever. It's kind of shit run. So
yeah.
Hopefully next week is better.
Do you think you have the potential to sub one hour?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay, cool.
In like
we're
2
trying
weeks.
to compete with like all that. Yeah. Well, we'll see.
We'll see. What nights do you stream the speed run? Because you do stream it, right?
We're trying to do Sundays so that we can have a second rep in on Tuesday reset, but we did Tuesday because a lot of people are playing PoE this week, so they couldn't do Sunday. So usually Tuesdays are going to be a speed run, but it could be Sunday. We raid Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday.
Cool.
So got a lot of raiding every week.
I'll let you get out of here, man. Thanks for hanging out with us. I got a link to your Twitch there in the chat. If you want to head over, watch him. You're streaming live right now, right?
I am. Yeah.
Yeah. Click follow, guys.
Right now.
Click follow.
If you want to
miss this guy.
If you want to keep the Boomie vibes for tonight, head on over there. If you want to talk about some feral stuff, Grif and I are about to get in that in a minute here because there's lots of changes this week. But yeah, Smooth.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for coming on tonight, man.
I know worries. Anytime.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming. Really appreciate it.
Take care.
See ya.
See ya. Oh, it's gonna break. It's gonna break.
But it's immediately fixed. Oh, almost fixed. Almost. I gotta resize this now. Yeah. Or maybe if I just either way, it's gonna break.
Take your time.
Yeah. Cool.
Let me in.
Smooth was a really cool dude, man. Like I saw him on Twitch like randomly one night, and I was like, "Yo, this dude's got like 1 viewer, and he is like the chillest guy." Like I was vibing for a couple hours, like the first stream I saw.
Yeah, he seems like a nice guy too.
And he's destroying the meters, obviously, and in a super good guild. And yeah, I was stoked when he was like, "Yeah, dude, I'll come on." I was like, "Sweet."
Yeah, cool. Yeah, really good guest. I like him. All your guests have been really great, so I can't really be particular. But yeah.
Okay. Do I want to get Bearbus in here, or did you?
Invite him if you want. I don't know if he was serious or if he's just trolling.
Oh, he's probably serious. Man.
I mean,
he's probably serious.
Listen here, guys.
Can you add him? I guess we'd have to add him to like the group thing too.
You want to bring him to this one?
Yeah, that's fine. Just I don't think he's on my friends list, so.
He's on mine. Ooh, maybe. No, because I invited him before. Well, let me make this big screen so I can see. And I know how to add people because I do it all the time. And this isn't me trolling. Oh, that's where it went? Over there? Okay, all right. Sorry. This is in the way. Oh, there we go. Add friends. Bearbis's name isn't Bearbis, it's
Oh,
Bearbis or
well,
Eddie. Eddie.
While you're doing that, we both had some polls out this week. Let me let's get into
Oh,
the
did I have a poll?
well, now that he's in here,
I
never mind.
honestly,
We can
I've
do the
been
poll
so
later.
overwhelmed. So. No,
Yeah.
we can talk about it now.
I don't have the sound
Whatever you
clip
want, I don't
up.
care.
I don't have the sound clip.
I
is
have
annoying.
it, but I can't play it like that.
I do have it though. I do have it. Let me pull it up.
I may or may not be logged into the game right now.
I just wish that I could have it to where you guys could hear it. I think I would have to be streaming through Discord too, and then you guys would have to be watching the stream on Discord, and then you could hear it. That's a lot of work.
It's okay.
I broke it.
Yeah.
Hey, it's
yeah,
back.
it is broken, isn't it? Can I just
Go back to the thing you
Oh,
had.
There it is. It's so lovely and clean. But
Wait,
no,
am I now in the spot that?
No. He's just
Okay, cool.
Bearbis is smooth. That's all.
Okay, cool. I heard that about him.
Yeah.
Yeah, like butter. Like butter.
Smooth like butter.
Oh,
Like
now that
butter.
broke it. Now I'm Grif. Oh no.
Thank you, Nest.
Yeah,
Oh my
I
god,
broke
why
it,
do people
broke
keep
it.
moving around?
It's fine.
It's because I
would
broke
just-
it again.
Just display the Discord, call it a day. Like,
I could just move the cameras. We're fine.
as long
It's
as
fine.
you're happy. I don't see anything, so
Everything's fine. You're about
how
to.
do I fall behind all the time? There we go.
You're about to. It's about to be wild.
Wait, you clipped my feral hub. Let me fix that.
Oh my! I know it's gonna be fine. It's not clipped. I promise.
You're Griff. Ha. You're Griff.
Well, at least
What's
I
it
got
like being
my
a feral?
at least I got my camera working now. So
Yeah. What? Dude, it's fine. It's fine.
No, it's
working.
just so funny.
It's
I'm just realizing you're not using your layered scenes, so this is probably super
My
complicated.
layered scene. I don't know.
Oh my
Dude,
gosh.
I am an
Anyway.
ODS noob. All right. Feral Fairy Fire got changed. We were talking about it a little
Oh,
bit
yeah.
last night with Ernest, Table, and Scotty.
Oh yeah, but we didn't stream it.
No, we
Fun
didn't.
fact.
We didn't stream it, but we were digging into like everything we could think of on like everybody's theory crafting. So let's get Bearbis's opinion on stuff. Have you raided yet?
All right.
yeah, I did.
How'd that raid go?
So we didn't down Algalon because of the changes. We tried different strategy, meaning we weren't using 2 pally tanks. But
DKs get clapped, man.
we weren't using a DK either.
Really?
We were
man.
using Warrior Paladin.
Our paladin
So
was
that
fine.
was
Our
pretty
DK
easy.
would die every time. And
It wasn't tank damage. It was the fact that we tried a different strategy. We tried the phasing strategy, and for some reason, the Paladin tank was getting hit 2 to 3 times after being phased.
really?
Yeah, it was weird. So we spent like an hour doing all of that and testing it out. And they didn't really say that it was a tanking issue or a cooldown issue, because tanking looked fine. It was just we were missing our big disc priest this week, so that could have been another thing right there.
Oh, let's back up really quick. So if you guys don't know, there was a bug fix, hot fix, whatever you want to call it, that came out. Apparently the dodge chance of tanks or just people in general, because rogues I saw were abusing this too, was like 80%. It was like ridiculously high. So
it was double.
Was it? It was just like super high, and it was making fights like Algalon easier. And when they fixed it, I think they also nerfed the damage Algalon does at the same time, but tanks are still getting clapped from it because they're getting hit for like 26k. You know, and you take 2 of those with like what are those punches they take? Our Cosmic Smash.
Phase punch.
Face punch, yeah.
Face punch, yeah. Cosmic Smash is the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
It just most of them can't. Like I said, our Pally tank seemed exactly the same. It didn't seem like he was struggling at all. Every time our DK would taunt, once his cooldowns fell off, he was just dead. Like just dead.
Yeah, it's definitely knowing when to rotate your cooldowns, and a lot of them you can overlap. I've done the tanking side of it, and I've done the DPS side of it now. So it's just a matter of rotating your cooldowns and getting used to that extra dodge chance that isn't there anymore. Plus, it's a 10% damage reduction that they put on his abilities.
That's what it is. Thank you. Well, how did Feral feel?
Oh, I loved it. I actually, so I don't know if you looked at it, Griff, yet, but I posted my logs from last night, and XT, I still have a 99 on it. I went down
Nice.
like, I think it was like 16 slots, but it's still like pretty good
Still holding
considering.
solid.
Top 200. I'm normally top 200 worlds for Eldred, so it's still holding pretty well. And I actually got a lot of cleaves off. We ended up on that fight dropping our warrior to pick up a different person because we're overstaffed, which is always a good thing. But
Rare nowadays.
yeah, I mean, so the warrior wasn't doing the extra cleave. We didn't have the same cleave as we normally did, so I ended up using swipes. And I think swipe was like my third or fourth top damaging ability on that fight.
Dude, our warrior gapped the entire raid with cleave damage last night. It was sick. I was like,
I was
yo.
number 2 on XT for total damage done. It was kind of insane.
Our
Going
warriors,
from like
they're stealing it all.
10 to 2 is pretty insane.
Let's talk about not the damage, but the feel of the rotation. How do you feel? Because I want to give my opinions, but I want to hear yours.
So the feel of the rotation, it just pretty much replaces the whole bear weave kind of feel for it. There are more gaps now that you're just
small,
kind of
though.
sitting there, but they're
just like tiny
small.
gaps. Yeah.
I noticed that when I was digging through logs, and I still need to do more digging, that I went from a 99 active time to a 97, 98 active time. And I did personally feel that just because like I'm used to the split seconds of knowing what to do next.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's just a matter of like getting more familiar with this style of play because like we've already talked about it, like the opener, we disagree slightly on how the opener should be played, which I think is good because that means that there isn't a set opener yet, at least, like where everyone's like, this is what you do, that's all there is to it. But also like I was talking, I don't know if it was talking to you about this, but some people were asking in chat, and I know you saw it if you didn't respond to it, but people were asking, "Hey, I'm in Berserk. Should I be fairy firing?" And what I was doing was when I was doing Berserk, if my energy was getting low, yeah. But for the most part, I didn't unless I was doing a ferocious bite, because I would ferocious bite into a feral fairy fire to allow me to, no matter what's going on, to continue to just pump and pump and pump. But I know some people were like, nope, don't touch it. It's not worth it when you're doing Berserk because, I mean, you just go, go, go. But I don't know. If you want to put that ferocious bite in there, you kind of have to.
So I did throw Fairy Fire in while in Berserk, and it allowed my energy to stay up higher.
High.
It does stay up high, but
yeah.
I never really capped out because like I was looking at logs, and most of them on the good fights that I had, I only ended up wasting like maybe 3 to 4 energy ticks total if you count them as ticks. So it's like 30 to 40 energy, which is almost another shred. But considering I was comparing to Sims, and I was getting like an average of 12 to 20 more clear casting procs than what Sims were showing.
Jeez.
Okay. That's pretty good.
Only because I was using Fairy Fire in Berserk.
Yeah, in the Berserk. What's the current, this is a hard question, you might not know the answer to it. What's the current proc rate, including Feral Fairy Fire, of Omen of Clarity? Because again, I want to kind of paint the picture.
Do you want the average PPM, or do you want the realistic?
So first, let's talk about what this means, because we have Feral Fairy Fire, which is 100% proc of Omen of Clarity. So that right there is 10. Just
Right.
Every 6 seconds, 60 seconds, that's 10. On top of that, you have the regular one that comes from white damage, and if you're wearing the tier 2, God, I hate saying this, the tier 8 2 piece, you're also getting it from your Rake and your Rip. Though that has an internal cooldown on it. And...
Not Rip, just Rake.
Oh, Rake. I could have sworn it was Rip too, but yeah, you're right.
It's Rake and Lacerate. That's
what
the two.
I know. It was 2 things.
Lacerate.
Okay, yeah.
It rhymes.
Lacerate.
It all rhymes.
Thank you. So regardless, you've got 3 ways to generate Omen of Clarity procs. You know it's at least 10. What do you feel is the number? Like, if you've looked up the logs and you've seen, like, oh, I'm getting this, I'd like to hear that. But what do the sims say they're supposed to be, and what do you think it is? Because it feels way too high. Like, legit too high.
Procs per minute is, according to the Sims, is 15.
That seemed
Up from what? What was it, like, maybe 8?
12. Maybe 12.
That's not that much then.
Yeah, it's not that much, according to Sims. But
I don't think that's right, though.
If you go off of what the realistic one is supposed to be, so it's supposed to be like 18 to 20. Which is like 6 to 10 more procs per minute than you're normally getting, which is correct if you're using Fairy Fire on cooldown. But if you go based off of the average proc rate of just Omen of Clarity, which is 8 procs per minute, and then you add in the 4 procs from the tier 8s, that's 12, and then you add in the 10 that you're going to get from Feral Fairy Fire, or should get from Feral Fairy Fire if you're using it on cooldown. That's 22.
I want to read something really quick, just because I have the time. The periodic damage dealt by your Rake, Rip, and Lacerate abilities has a chance to cause you to enter a clear casting state. Written apologies only. Thank you.
My man pulled up the tooltip real quick.
I was like, I could have swore it was Rip. I've been wrong before. I admit to it. But...
He's like, I'm gonna let you
Anyway,
finish,
so
but
it doesn't.
Regardless,
it doesn't proc as much off of Rip than it does Rake.
I mean, regardless, it's got a cooldown, so it doesn't really matter. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the loss of Lacerate is probably not even felt when it comes to that specific clear casting proc.
No, Lacerate was only like 400 damage per second in like most people's logs. And I say most because if you look at the average Feral Druid, that's what it is. But if you look at like high parsers, it was a lot higher than that. Which, if you swap in Ferocious Bite, it's about the same.
Yeah. I love... Okay, here's some things I love, and I'm curious what you think. First thing I love, I don't miss going bear, so I'm gonna say I love staying cat. I love the ability to use a button that I've been staring at for 3 months now and not been able to press. That is Ferocious Bite. Yes, you could maybe work it in some scenarios, during a bit, whatever. Now it is literally at least twice a minute. Some people are pressing it more. I hesitate to press it as often as I can because I really like to. But I've also noticed, and we were talking about this yesterday. I don't think, no, you weren't there. Aranis was saying that he loves pressing Ferocious Bite because as long as you've got, a little bit of energy, you can almost, even with only 3 seconds left on Rip, you can get your 5 combo points so rapidly now. If you've got like, a shred coming, then you're Feral Fairy firing into maybe you've got Rake. And that's 4, and then you just do 1 more and you can Rip. And yes, that's more than 3 seconds, but you get the point. Like, you can generate so much more rapidly now. Like, so much more rapidly. That is going to be a huge factor, especially once we get our crit as high as we are already creeping up to. Because then you're getting 2 points on, like, every damage. So that's 3 damage to get any combo point max. And Savage Roar, because I'm running tier 4... I don't even bother. I mean, like, I'm still doing 5 combos because it doesn't matter, even though I could get away with doing 3 or 4. It's crazy.
So what was the question?
The question is, what's your favorite, or what's your favorite part of all these things? Like, because that's what I like. Though I like being cat, I like Ferocious Bite, and I love that combo points are so easy to generate now. But is there like something like you're like, I like that?
So
Can't say the
if
same.
we go back to classic, original vanilla, and TBC, I was a huge avid user of the power shifting.
Sure.
And it kind of goes back to that because originally, like, we weren't doing Fairy Fire on cooldown like we are doing now. So it kind of makes it feel a lot like that, where you gain like the 40 energy from just power shifting. So
Yeah.
if people
It's-
think of it that way, it makes it a lot easier for some people to do the whole rotation.
Yeah, I could see that. And it really is, I mean, one GCD, it's not exactly what were we getting? 60 energy, 40 energy?
It was 60 with Wolf's Head, but it was 40
Yeah.
energy without it.
Yeah, so you're getting 60 energy, which is essentially maybe one shred. So
It was
it's
one shred back then too.
Well, but you're also getting that little bit of extra, and then when the tick comes, you'll get like it's like a shred and a half.
Yeah.
So it is very similar because it's one GCD. It's giving you pretty much one ability. So I do like that. That's a good comparison. I like that you don't have to wear a wolf's head in order to achieve that.
Yep.
But yeah, definitely. Man, do you think they're gonna nerf it?
Honestly, no. I think it's enough for now that it'll end up showing more and more in later tiers because I'm a huge person to do all the sims, which you still haven't sent me your TOGC set.
I was moving that weekend. I saw that and I was like, oh, I'm not gonna be able to get to this for like a day or two, and then I forgot about it.
Yeah, I kept bugging you about it, but
I did see it. I'm sorry, man.
No, you're good. I'm just giving you crap.
Yeah.
So in later tiers it holds the same value that it does now. It still gives us about the 1,000 DPS, which is 5 to 10%, exactly what they said.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's overpowered. It feels overpowered now because it's so new to us.
Well, not only that, it's so much easier to do. Like bear weaving, you were working so hard and you weren't necessarily getting those big bam, bam, bams. Like lacerate's not exciting.
It's not easier to
when
do.
you hit that ferocious bite, I think it is. I think it's easier than bear weaving.
It'll have a higher skill cap. It'll have a higher skill cap because if you have an Omen of Clarity proc, and then so I've gotten a lot of the times when I've done the Fairy Fire on dummies that I got like 6 in a row.
Yeah.
And that was like ridiculous, but the majority of the times I was getting them back to back, and they were procking like right after each other, like immediately after each other, and it felt bad. So you kind of have to try and prepare for those, and those are like millisecond timings.
Someone did mention, and I think you were also in the Discord when we were talking about this. Maybe this was the Druid Discord, but they were saying the hardest thing is not using Feral Fairy Fire when you already have the clear casting proc up, because like 6 seconds you could just press it, but you also have to pay attention because you're getting clear casting from so many different sources that like you're then wasting a clear cast when you could have just done the ability, then done it, and then benefited harder. And you're right, you only have like that quick second to react and go, okay, no, don't Feral Fairy Fire. I'm gonna do damage here. And I think that is a skill cap. I don't think it's I think the skill cap is more up here as opposed to like the perfect rotation, which is what bear weaving is.
No. So it lowers the skill floor for ferals. It lowers the floor for ferals, even lower than it was before.
Or no, lowers the floor. Yeah, right.
It lowers the floor. It hires the top end because of that specifically. Because of the interactions with Omen of Clarity, it's going to bring it even higher. So the skill ceiling for feral druids is going to be higher than it was for bear weaving.
Do you think this shrinks the RNG of ferals?
No,
because you can determine when you need an Omen of Clarity proc, as opposed to the randomness of Omen of Clarity in the past.
No, Omen of Clarity. No, Omen of Clarity doesn't have an internal cooldown. If it had an internal cooldown, it would be less random.
No, but that's what I'm saying though. Like we have Omen of Clarity and we have the tier set, and those are for the most part, pretty random. And then we have Feral Fairy Fire, which is 0 randomness. So we relied on the regular one so heavily, but now we can say we need a free spell now.
The two piece isn't it's predictable. The two piece is the predictable part. It's the Omen of Clarity proc from your talents that is unpredictable.
It's random. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think because we're not nearly as reliant on that particular one, that's the Omen of Clarity clear casting, that the RNG of it has shrunk because we now can use Feral Fairy Fire to fill in the gaps that we normally would have been like, come on, RNG, I need a clear casting proc here.
Yes, every 6 seconds.
Yeah, I mean that's the downside. Right? If it didn't have a cooldown, we'd be having a very different conversation.
Yes, we would
like,
have.
Hey, do you hear we won the game? Do you hear we won?
Yeah, we wouldn't have any issues whatsoever.
So
There's
there's
always going to be an issue.
Do you like the tier set still? Because was it Airness last night saying that he didn't want to use the? It was you.
No, he said it, but I was talking about it, so I'm not sure. But yeah, you said who was going for it. Ernest says he wants to go completely away from tier, and I
looked at it
his
already.
Argument. How is it?
I looked at it. Not good.
Not good.
Are you talking Sims, or are you talking you have the gear and you were able to swap it? Because I think is fully geared and he was able to do it. Like
I swapped it.
259.
Well, so the problem is that there's no good 252 helmet, so you have to use the Blight goggles, which are 245. And then the gloves, there's 232 options, but the best option would be the Algalon 10-man gloves, which I haven't seen. So I still kind of had to use the gloves, but the proc from the tier set, just the 2-piece, is still better than not running it at all.
Than the stats that you can get from getting rid of it.
It's not that much stats. It's a very small incremental amount of stats.
Yeah. I would like to see, I want to see like I might do the simming, not tonight because I got stuff to do, but like I might do the simming to compare to see like how big of that gap and how much the
50 to 70 DPS.
See, that's pretty small. And how is the the phase 3 epic gems going to affect that? Because some of those have an extra gem slot, and I'm curious if they're going to be able to
150.
Well, the 150 is the difference between the regular and the other, but I'm saying with phase 3 epics, can the non-tier set close the gap of 50 DPS?
Not when the tier set gives you, I think I calculated it out earlier to be about 87 to 100 for the 2-piece and 100 to 120 for the 4-piece.
Well, I know.
It's just, that's just the bonus. That's just the bonus.
Right. So the stats have to make up for that. That's the problem.
Right.
So that is a big gap to get 10 extra agility to be like, cool, look, I'm top.
Even so, in comparison to, let's just say you're not gonna go for the hard mode tier. So the 10.5 or 10.5 or 10.75, whatever they want to call it.
Talking about the ICC?
9. No, the 9.
Okay.
I'm talking about
TOGC.
the 9. Sorry.
Yeah. It's okay.
So if you compare the ones you can get normally from either doing 10-man heroic or 25-man normal or 25-man heroic, because you get the trophies of the Crusade, the comparison between that point in tier and the offset items is still less than wearing the normal gear.
Yeah. I 200 DPS isn't a deal breaker for me. I would like to see people. It's like comparing like bear weaving to flower shifting. Bear weaving is definitely going to be better, but flower shifters can pump with a perfect rotation.
Right, but you also have to factor in that you're not going to be crit soft capped anymore. You won't.
I mean,
be. I looked at it already.
At least not in phase 2.
You won't.
In phase 2.
Well, in phase 3 you won't be. You'll be like 2% off.
Phase 3. So we're talking about phase 2. In phase 3, I'm definitely going to be wearing at least the 2-piece. I'm trying to think what the 4-piece bonus is, and I'm blanking on it right now.
4-piece bonus.
Is the rake?
It's the rake crit. It's the rake crit.
Yeah,
Sport
I'll
beast.
probably go for that because I hate using rake right now, and it'll give me a good excuse to.
No, that's ICC gear. Sorry. So
What am
4
I thinking then?
pieces. It's rip and ferocious bite crit chance.
And 2-piece is rake is extended, right?
Extended by 3 seconds.
Yeah. So 1 tick essentially. I don't know. Okay. Here's my more important question. I'm not saying do you know. I'm saying do you think bear weaving is dead?
No, people
I
still
don't.
can do it.
Do you think it's going to be able to compete with
Yeah.
the? You think it's going to be close?
I think it's going to be close, like within 100 DPS for the most people. But the
Mhm.
people that can do the rotation perfectly will still see about the same numbers
But
as somebody that's monocat.
all I think is they're going to have to change. So bear weaving, even if they do it, will have to change because you don't want to be using your feral fairy fire in bear form. So you've only got a 6-second window. You use it, not even 6 seconds, because you've got GCDs. So you're either doing mangle maul and just giving up on lacerate, or only doing a single lacerate stack per swipe in order to maintain. Man, I lo-
Mangle Mall.
I'm
Mangle Mall.
100% theoried here because I haven't seen. One person in our Discord was like, "Yeah, I did it. It went really well," and that is all I've heard about it, and that's all I'm basing this on. I don't. What I'm afraid is everyone's going to shift. I mean, I'm not afraid because I don't care because I'm not going to be bear weaving. I just don't miss it at all. But I still want to see if bear weaving is a contender because when this announcement came out, I saw comments like, "Bro, I love bear weaving. Why'd you take it away from me?" By the way, they personally blamed me. I'm a little
They
insulted by that.
they didn't take it away. It's
I know they
different.
didn't. It's still there. It's
It's
different.
still there.
It's,
You can still do it. It's still viable,
yeah,
but
but
it's not
it's
nearly
not worth
as
it.
good as it was.
Yeah.
It's going to continue to be that way through ICC. Like it's not going to.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to outscale
Yeah.
the other one.
I think even in ICC gear, it's still going to be about the same.
I mean, God, once you start pushing against all those caps, though, I just can't imagine you thinking, you know what, I'm gonna go bear form. I just, man, trust me,
if you're
I'm all for
comparing like
people that
full
want to do
bis
it.
though, if you're comparing
Yeah.
full bis on each phase, Monocat's going to outperform it, but
Mhm.
only like slightly. As we get more and more gear, Monocat will be a bigger increase.
But this goes against what you said, but I do think if you took an average player and you gave them regular rotation that we have now and bear weaving, they'd perform better at the regular rotation as opposed to trying to mingle bear weave.
So that's not really contradicting. That's just more
Well, no,
going
I'm
back
just
to what I've
because I
said
don't want to.
previously, that bear weaving is a difficult rotation and that you should practice it if that's what you want to do.
Well, what you said is that the current situation of Monocat has a higher skill cap. And I'm saying that if you take an average player, which this doesn't contradict, but it kind of goes in the face of it. If you take an average player and give them both options, because the skill cap is so high on both of them, I think they'll perform better with Monocat.
But I'm saying,
do you agree?
here's the bear weaving, bear weaving skill cap, here's the Monocat skill cap. The gap is still pretty significant.
And everyone's way under it anyway.
Average people, bear weaving, Monocat. This gap is not that big. Average person. The gap for average people is not going to be that big. And
but
that's why I'm just comparing average.
And you will agree though that someone, let's say Go wants to try Feral. And he's like, I've never done Feral before. I'm not suggesting bear weaving to him. I'm just not. I'm like, no, man, don't.
I even the people that ask me the questions, and I get DMs every day of people in our Discord just asking questions, and so I'm just like, don't even try bear weaving. That's what I told them. If you want to try bear weaving, go to a dummy and spend like 2-3 hours doing it.
Hours, yeah. Okay, I want to read what Table Slam said. He said, "This is what I was saying last night, kind of. While still in cat, fairy fire, spend proc on shred, shred again, bear, mangle maul, fairy fire in bear, re-enter cat. Okay, that's probably
Yeah,
the only way
that's
you
what
can do
that's
it.
what I was thinking is same
Yeah.
thing that Table Slam said was just Mangle Ball. That's gonna be the new
Yeah.
rotation because you don't really need the Lacerate,
Mhm.
and the threat
You don't.
generation
The
from
stack's
Lacerate
impossible.
stays. The threat
Yeah.
generation from Lacerate stays because it's the Lacerate ability that has the extra threat generation.
I think it's cool. I think it's good that bear weaving is still at least somewhat viable because for that small group of people that are like, yeah, bear weaving, they didn't lose their opportunity. For the gift weavers out there,
They lost it. It's gone.
you lost it, but I will say I know they said that the gift weaving AoE was stronger. I just can't see AoE feels so strong right now.
It was stronger. I can tell you that. I did.
Man,
I did.
it feels so strong right now.
So when I was doing AoE with gift weaving, I was getting about 30 to 35k DPS.
Nice.
Now I'm getting only about 15. So it's a
That
lot
low?
stronger. Yeah, it's a lot stronger for gift weaving because you can do it every single swipe.
Yeah.
So what you would do is you would get 2 swipes in, and then you'd be super low on energy. You'd get one of the
Gift,
gifts off,
GCD.
and then you swipe one more time, and then you swipe another time because your energy should be back up. But then you're doing 2 gift weaves before using another section of your energy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So you
it
essentially
also
got
costs how
in
much gold to do that? That was like 6 gold right
200.
there.
Well, I spent about 150 to 250 gold a
A
raid
night.
night.
Yeah.
So I had anywhere from 200 to 300 of it every single night.
Yeah, jeez.
That's what I mean though. Like, and that's gone. Like,
It saves us that amount, but it's like we lost about half of our DPS in AoE damage because we can't use the gift weave anymore.
Can I hear you say
Okay.
that they should revert that change and bring back?
Well, they
No.
should, yes.
Oh, thank you.
I would love it.
Because that
I would
bumps
love it.
Boomies again. Because Boomie's got the nerf, so we need
Right.
our
I'm kind of
Boomie's got the nerf,
we need our
and
buff
so
back.
did
Yeah.
so did Restos. Resto also got that same nerf because some
Mhm.
Resto druids did it pre-pull to get a free cast.
and get a life bloom going.
Yeah.
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 Let me ask you then. Overall, like not just single target, not just AoE. Overall, is this a buff or a nerf?
Overall, it's a buff.
Even
About
though
5
we
to
lose the
10%.
AoE.
About 5
lose
to
the
10%.
AoE. That's
So
interesting.
the next phase is not going to matter
Yeah.
because there's no trash. It's
Yeah.
not going to matter.
Single target only. Well,
ICC,
not
there
single target,
are some big trash packs, but there's a lot of smaller trash packs more than there are big trash packs. So it's not going to matter to us in the long run. It just hinders us now.
It's honestly AoE, and I think Boomies can agree. AoE DPS is mostly just a fun thing. It has like you're not like oh
It's
snapshot.
who can
It's
hit
just,
the
like, cool.
highest, the
Yeah,
best.
it's just and it's like a mini game in the game that you're just enjoying. It's not like nobody's looking at AoE parse logs. You know what I mean? But it's fun when you're like when you do when you do a high AoE. You're like oh did you guys see that? You guys see that? You know.
So table.
Oh, where are you at, Rose?
Every time that I go into it, I used to go into an AoE pack. I'm like, oh, is that a brown bar that's a cat on top? What's going on here? Like, did the rogues just let a brown bar beat them? Like, what?
Yeah, table.
Wait.
Table got me last night, but he said he used Berserk. So like the very
Yeah. On
Berserk
some
is
trash packs,
broken.
it is actually useful to use Berserk.
Mhm.
So depending
100%.
on how much trash you clear for Freya's room, you want to
Yep.
use it there. Depending on where you use your Berserk on the trash to Vezex, you can actually get it
on
2
the first
times.
and second. Yeah, I use it on the very first pull, and then I usually have it either by the first pack down bottom or the second pack, and it still takes 3 minutes to kill the other dude and the one guy, and then go into Vesix. But like I try to get it on the very first pull down in Vesik's room, and it's always up on cooldown or off cooldown.
That's
by
the one
then.
he beat me on.
Yeah, so the fact that I am in a parse guild means that we're kind of sitting at the boss for a little bit, and it kind of feels bad.
I hate that.
I hate
that.
it. Our newest meme is we haven't had our 5 ready checks yet. Let's get our ready
Yeah,
check.
right. I know I
So-
already ready check, guys, but I want to really make sure. You know what? You know what's more frustrating? I've kind of like moved past it because it just doesn't matter anymore. But I remember, call me crazy. The last trash pull before a boss, you could stack your Savage Roar, especially with the tier 8 4-piece, get your 40 seconds on there, and then go into the boss, and you're an absolute pumper. But that never happens because guess what you get to do before you pull the boss? Ready check, food check, drop it, check your buffs. Come on, paladins. Why do we have to remind you every time? Put the buff back up. You've got a giant bar on the side of your screen. See if any of it's red. Click a button. Jesus. But yeah, but we go through all that, and all I watch is like the SR just slowly tick down to the point that I've stopped even bothering to like.
I don't even bother with
even
it
in
because
5
I
mans.
know.
I'm just like it is what it is. I'm not.
Yeah, I already
get the
know
paladin
I'm not
sit
gonna
down
get
and
it.
drink, and you're like, come on, man.
I already know I'm not
DK.
gonna get it. That's I just kind of give up on that.
Is there any boss? So okay, overall, I know it's week 1. We have barely scratched the logs. Are we moving up this chain? Because I said we were. I made a claim. I made a statement. We're gonna move up above balance for overall damage to bosses. Overall damage on boss fights, which is different.
No.
I think we are.
We're getting closer, but we're not gonna beat them.
I think we're gonna do it. This is the one.
No.
Do my eyes look crazy enough? This is it.
No. We won't beat them till ICC.
Okay. I think we're going to beat them. Let's put
Nope.
money on it. 5 gold.
5 gold, that's
server,
it?
On a
What
private
about the
server of your
gold?
choosing. You know how long that's going to take me to 5 gold? That's like
5
45
gold
minutes.
per DPS difference.
Somebody's gonna lose a lot of gold on that.
But I do think I
You
am
know I
very
don't play
excited.
private servers, right?
I don't either. I'm not on a private server right now. I swear.
I've never done a private server, and I'm an avid person on that. Like I've tried to do them, but like I
Yeah.
never get past like level 10 because I'm like, yeah, I'd rather do this on live.
Well, here's the okay. A couple things. First of all, the private server that I'm on, the XP rate is like kill one a mob, get a level. So you could get from level 1 to level 10 in about 7 minutes.
Yep.
And the other reason is my guild is a PTR guild. Like they require you to go on the PTR to get a position. And if they don't announce the PTR, or if the PTR doesn't get buffed or gets buffed, I can't remember. There's some scenario where they want us to be on private servers so that we can test it quicker than the PTR will put it out. But they're like, if you want a position on raid 1, you have to show up. So I'm leveling a druid, a horde druid. Ugh.
So this is why I want you to send me your TOG set. It's because I can tell you how much that 1% hit is really worth.
It's worth a lot.
That's about 100 DPS. It's not. It's not a lot anymore.
You want to know what's cool?
Less than 1%.
We now have plenty of Draenei to guarantee everyone has hit. You know why? Because they did a race change.
Yep, the race change thing is pretty good.
So like everyone switched to like the best race for their class, and yeah, we have a bunch of Draenei's now. Most people went human for the, I guess. I'm not sure what people go human
Swords and maces. Expertise.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think it was DK. So I'm trying to think of what I saw.
DKs will use swords for the rest of the game.
Yeah,
except for if you get Shadowmourne Prio, but that's unholy Prio.
We have more than one unholy. But yeah, I definitely think if we're summarizing, Feral feels better. I definitely think we're going to perform better in general. Not necessarily, maybe not move up the charts, but like the average druid will likely move up in their guild. Because
we will move up the charts.
But there's only 2 people to move up past. We're not going to pass Ret Paladins. Yeah, I mean, like, look at the logs.
Yeah, we're gonna pass Ret Paladins.
I don't think we are. Pull up the
No.
charts.
Pulling
I
up
think
Well,
the
we'll
we'll pass.
charts.
So, are we talking like all boss damage, or are we talking
no,
just like boss by boss?
all boss damage.
Yeah, cleave fights are unreal. So good luck.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, are we gonna move up that chart? We could go one by one because the thing is, we already do beat Boomies in some fights. Very few, but some. And I think we're gonna beat them in a few more. I think it's gonna be very close, but not with like the obvious ones. So I don't know what we're gonna close the gap on, but I think that Wowhead post is going to look a little different in a week or two.
It'll take a couple of weeks, but yeah.
Yeah, a week or two.
We'll get past balanced druids at least. We are already above ret paladins, so
On that chart, are we? I actually don't remember.
yeah. We're currently above ret paladins.
Do you have it somewhere that I don't see
Even
it?
Frost Mage is above Ret Pally.
And so all bosses. I'm looking at all bosses stats.
Just damage
not
to boss.
just
Not,
boss.
Not overall damage to bosses.
All bosses, just DPS.
How do you find these
saying
charts so fast?
It's
raid? If you go to the click down for raids, if you just go to Ulduar, then you go stats, it's right there. So I mean, we'll beat Boomies. We won't. We'll actually might get above Arcane Mages and Ellie Shamans. I think Destro Locks will start to go a little bit higher. It's really hard to say for sure that we would even get close to enhancement shamans, but I think that's the highest we'll go. We're still going to be middle of the pack. No matter how we look at it, we're still going to be middle of the pack. We're not going to be bottom 5. We're going to be middle of the pack.
So going
Hey,
from
guys,
going
found
from
it.
the range, like the 2-week range to 1-week range, Feral bumps up above balance. Then going to the 1-day range, oh my gosh! Wait until
What?
this.
How's it look?
Wait until it uploads
you-
or it
Hold on, I wanna look.
updates on the stream.
Propagates. Okay, so statistics.
Yeah.
Trying to catch up to you.
Yeah.
That's the past 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, let
And
me.
that's,
what percentile did you
all
use?
percentiles. I can change it to whatever percentile.
No, I'm
but
just trying to match what you are.
all percentiles over a range of a day, current standings, using normalized scores, phase 2. That's it.
Oh my God, is that real?
Feral is up
That's
there.
real.
Oh,
That's the past
okay.
24 hours.
Put that
And
on your
I
screen
can say-
if it doesn't.
It's up there, yeah.
It's up there.
Okay.
It's up there.
That's
So
wild.
that's
Okay, is
that's
this
everybody.
gonna normalize? Is this gonna normalize?
It's gonna normalize very
it's,
very
Threatbur.
slightly. Yeah, it's Threatbur's my Twitch, but it'll normalize.
That's okay. Let's talk about this log. I'm gonna look at it on my screen. This is what I see. Unholy TKs are broken. Everyone knows that. Grats to them. No one cares. Warlocks are busted. Good for them. Nobody cares. Rogues are easy to play and broken. Good for them. Nobody cares. Fire Mage, great. Phase 3 or Phase 2, you finally showed up. Feral Druids are above Frost DKs on this list. Feral Druids are above Hunters, above Chamois, above Shadow Priest, above the other Warlock, which is the Destruction Warlock, which is you just bring for the buff. Above Balanced Druids, Ret Paladins, Fury Warriors. I mean, guys, if this holds true and we don't get nerfed, we are going to be the most lovable, hated class in the game.
It's wild. Wild to see.
Yeah.
Like how much
I did not expect this.
how much gear
But
from
I don't think it'll hold.
lootless guilds was funneled to the rogues because they were up higher.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah, like
hunters.
Rogues got prioed on
lot.
a lot of stuff.
So like,
Yeah.
yeah. Now, like, you
I
guys are
I
up
kind
there
of
with being lower prio from loot council guilds.
Yeah.
I kind of skamazed my way into picking up a couple items because I was prog tanking on a different class.
And second, while I snapshot this and send it to our GM so he knows to prio me gear.
I just posted it in our guild Discord too, by the way.
No joke. I'm gonna be like, hey, loot prio notice. That's what I'm calling the image.
Uh,
I'm just gonna
yeah,
troll.
I picked up leggings finally.
Oh, nice.
I picked it up last night. It was our
Yeah,
second
then
one.
you got the phase 3 ones, right? Well,
Yeah.
phase 3 for your set. Because I'm actually going with the tier set for the legs and my current set.
But
With the
still better.
sweeter gloves. However, your play makes more sense if you get those legs now. Because now that you have those legs, it makes 100% sense to do your build because the DPS difference is like 10. So like,
Yeah.
if I had those legs, I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna do the same build as you. But now I've got to chase 2 extra pieces that you don't have to.
Yeah,
You know, because
exactly.
you can wear the tier gloves. Yeah. Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
difference between the normal and the heroic 25-man tier is like 200, but that puts the legs over the gloves even better.
Yeah. I think I have to redo everything now because everything I've done for TOGC is not completely garbage, but like it's got to be at least rechecked. Like the Sims aren't even the same Sims anymore.
So I don't know if you actually noticed, but the manual advanced parameters of ferals I tweaked just because I sat there and like did numbers from 1 to 20 and did 3,000 iterations. So like I said, I've done about 10 million sims in the past 2 days. And that's 100% true. Like 10 million sims
I've done a
iterations in the
bunch, but
past
like
2 days.
the problem right now is there's so much I want to sim and I don't know what I want to prioritize. Like okay, hey, let's sim my current gear. Let's sim, the BIS list and then refactor and see if we can get more ARP or more art agi or more strength. And that's like just that is like 40 minutes of like playing around with different crap. We haven't even talked about TOGC, which is
I've done that already
I
for
know.
this phase. I've
That's
done
what
it
I'm
for
saying
next
though. Like,
phase.
it's so much to do. Man,
I've done it. I've done it, and I'm constantly tweaking it and constantly looking at it. That's why when everybody asks me in your Discord, it's just like, "Ooh, what's going to be best for next phase?" I'm like, I can't tell you that right now. It's gonna change.
yeah,
Because I'm
I don't
constantly
think.
tweaking it.
So another thing I want to talk about because we haven't actually said this in our stream yet, which I think is important. Dark matter versus comet scale. They are basically the same
Oh, yeah.
DPS now.
They got even closer. They got way closer.
And dark matter is less cryoed. I mean, like enhanced run both. I think rogues do
No.
too. But like,
No,
do rogues
Enhanced
not
doesn't run both.
Yeah. I'm sure they do.
Rogues run both, but Enhanced don't run both.
What do enhanced run?
Greatness and Comet's Trail.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I've seen them running both. I mean, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I'm okay with that.
I think their BIS setup is Greatness and Comet's
I
Trail.
haven't looked at Abyss, so I could be wrong. But regardless, you're still competing with those people, and I think if you can claim that your dark matter is BIS over Comet's Tail, instead of them saying, "Hey, that's second BIS," you could be like, "Cool, go eat your first BIS and lay off my dark matter."
So Comet's Trail, according to the Sims, is going to be second BIS. Your second BIS trinkets. So for your other slot, Runestone's still going to be BIS. There's no ifs, ands, or buts
you're not
about
going
it.
anywhere with that.
You're not removing Runestone
ICC.
till ICC till you
Yeah.
get one of the two
The
Deathbringers.
flat ARP. You get the flat ARP.
It's
Pure
one of the two.
ARP cap in ICC, guys. Pure ARP cap. None of this
And
proc change.
I have two different sets I've made
Sorry, go.
for ICC, but yeah, I kind of gave a little bit of a preview in the feral DPS of what I've been simming and what I've been looking at. And
Ooh.
if you looked at
Sorry.
it, it's like this chunk of sims. just
Where do
on
you
like
okay?
easy.
So there's this one guy, man. I should remember his name. This one guy comments on a lot of my videos, and he says Feral is S tier, or he said this one. He said Feral is S tier. By the time we get to ICC, it's going to be S plus.
No.
Do you think it's going to slip under the other melee, or do you think it's going to keep up with the rest of the melee? Maybe have
It's
DPS
gonna
loss here and there,
maintain. It's gonna maintain.
But maintain
its
what? We don't
value.
even know where we're at yet. Like we're like
Currently, so I've talked to a lot of people. I've watched a lot of the rankings that other people have done, a lot of the big streamers, and there were some that I disagreed with. There were some that I kind of agreed with, but I would put it a little bit slower. I think personally, we should probably do this at one point in time. Is actually put a tier list for DPS of what we think as druids is a good tier list.
wait, when you say a good tier list, do you mean compared to every other class?
In
'Cause that's what it sounds
comparison,
like.
where we sit ourselves, because like that could be a whole separate video that we could all just sit down and discuss for like hours and hours. But in reality of what I think that druids in general are B and A tier. And ICC feral druids will go up a little bit in the rankings in A tier, but they won't be S tier. I disagree with everybody that's saying that druids are S tier. We're A tier because S tier means you want to stack. You don't really want to stack too many druids. If you stack too many druids, you're losing out on other things.
I think this is my hot take. I think the tier system is stupid, and it's for the exact reason you just said. Nobody knows what any tier means. There's no clear like A tier
Right.
is this. Like you just said, S tier means you want to stack them. For you,
Yeah.
that's what it means. Other people, it means okay, their output is on a level that makes them so
They're-
desirable. You never want to run without them. I say you always want to run with a feral.
Everything
S
that
tier.
I say for a tier list is it stackable? Is what buffs does it bring? Is it unique buffs? Is it doing more DPS than somebody else who's doing that same buff? It's that type of thing.
Okay.
So I take all of those factors into
Yeah.
account before I say, okay, this is what S tier is. Because S tier to me means that those classes are more stackable because they bring more DPS. Granted, they don't bring the same unique buffs that other classes do, but
Yeah.
S tier just means to me more of a stackable, more damage class.
So where would you put a rogue?
S.
Then how come they're not stacking them? They're bringing maybe 2.
What do you mean?
I mean,
Our
two's not
raid
stacking 'em.
brings our raid brings 3 to 4 every week.
3 to 4 rogues? That's nuts.
Yes, but there are some weeks where we bring 5 warlocks.
Yeah, but like if let's say you replace those rogues with ferals, what do you lose out on? Not all of them. You keep your one rogue.
Tricks.
Tricks, you're losing out on all
You still
about,
have tricks, you just don't have as many.
You're losing out on about 50k threat.
I mean, if you got a DK and a paladin.
Well,
Would you
not
So you're saying you would bring a class purely for their ability. So you bring how many hunters are you bringing?
2.
2 hunters?
Yeah, 2 hunters.
I feel like that's overkill.
It
That's what
is.
I'm
It
saying,
is.
though. Like
2
but that's what I'm
hunters
saying,
is
like,
overkill.
I wouldn't stack hunters, but I still think they have a great benefit because of their abilities. Same thing with rogues. I wouldn't
But-
necessarily stack 2 rogues. I think is as many as you'd want. And I don't think rogues are S tier because you bring 2. I think they're S tier because they can pump. And I think if ferals can pump, you still got to give them the title of S tier regardless if you stack them or not.
It's the initial threat. So getting your MDs to your So we use the 2 MDs on our tank, and then we use our tricks on our warlocks to get the initial snapshots, which increases their damage.
Yeah.
If we need, because technically, I think if I remember this correctly, right now Trix is actually DPS loss for rogues. It's marginal, but it's still enough for them not wanting to do it. So they only want to do it 2 times per fight.
So, but the point I'm trying to make is, I think the tier system, and you're kind of making my point, is not as cut and dry as we
No.
act like it is. Oh, S tier, like
There's
why?
there's no correct or true statement for any tier list. But like I said, we could spend hours debating this.
But that's
Oh,
what I
yeah.
mean, though. Like, we need to come up with a better system. Like, what we should do is we should capture all the data for all the raids and then put them into some sort of system that we can then organize into a list and then determine from that list who is the. That'd
It's
be
like
really
something
complicated.
like Warcraft Logs already does. I
Yeah.
seem to know where you're going
So,
with this.
If we're in the upper 5th, I say we're S tier, and I think that's okay to say
No.
that. Or just don't say tiers and just say, hey, they're pumping, because I'm okay with
We're
that
pumping.
too. Yeah.
You've got to put so many caveats into the tier list, and then
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
somebody
And-
takes just the list out of context, they can be like, "Yo, these
Yeah.
guys just put this here." Like that's where it gets all like.
I think that
Crazy.
I watch like Sarth and
There's
Crix
so
and all
many
them.
people that just screenshot that one list and say,
Right.
okay,
I've done that.
this is it. And I've never done that other than when Rugs you put out his first tier list video
I got
back
Rugs,
in like Sunwell, because I sent it off. I'm like, here you guys go.
But here's the thing, like, so you've got all these people, and I think what I like about, I think Rugs did this too. I don't watch Rugs a lot, or at least I didn't back then. I think I follow him on Twitch maybe, but I know I watch Sarth's, and what I like about Sarth is they don't just go, like, this is S tier. Like you said, you take a snapshot of it, it looks deceiving, but like they put like Feral as B. And they're like, well, the reason we put Feral is their DPS is okay, but they bring, the 5% crit, that they got, B res, innervate, all those utilities, that's what they are. They're utility class, and yes, you want them. They're not D, they're not C, they're B. And I'm like, yeah, okay. But if you can bring those utility and do DPS, it's hard to say where they belong. Are they S tier? Probably not DPS wise, but if you take the utility they bring plus the damage they do, they're at least on par with Boomkins, if not a little higher.
So Sar's video for his tier list is actually one that I still kind of agree with. Granted, I think we're a little bit higher now, like you just said.
2. Well, yeah, you can't. See, that's the other thing. You can't take his tier list.
Well, everybody
at all
does
anymore because it's changed. Like,
right.
If you
But
can't
everybody
like pull up
does
a tier
one
list
for
from a month ago,
every
and be like,
phase.
see, he's wrong about Ferals.
Everyone's done one for at least one phase, and I know Sarth is probably going to do another one.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen.
Ooh, where's he gonna put Ferals?
Probably a little bit higher than he did before.
I think he put his B, and I think we're gonna end up either high A, like towards the edge of A, which is how he does it.
I'm thinking he'll put us more mid A, middle to like
either one of those,
a little bit higher.
That's what a digital erection feels like to me. So I hope you guys can relate to that.
Yes, I can definitely say yeah.
I thought I felt something.
When he does his videos, I'll watch the whole thing, but the first thing I'll do is scroll to the Druid section. And if he can't justify where he puts Druid, I won't watch it. I'm like, no, I can't right now. But if he's like, here's why I think and they do a good job of like, here's why I think it's there. You can't argue with it because the tier doesn't matter anymore. They've made an argument for why it's a decent class.
Yeah. Well, I have to look at everything because I play so many different classes. Like I've got a warlock, I've got a mage, I've got 2 druids, I've got a paladin, I've got a DK, and I'm leveling a shaman right now, so I'm only missing 3 classes.
Yeah.
So I play so many different classes that I kind of get the justification for tier lists, and to an extent. There's always going to be to an extent. If I don't agree with something, I'll still continue to watch it because I've already started. Might as well finish it out and see what they put everything at. Then I'll look at it and listen to their whole breakdown. And if all of that breakdown makes sense to me, then I'll be like, okay, what they said for their opinion is right.
Okay. next time we have you on, Bearbus, we are doing a tier list, and I am going to fight you tooth and nail to make Feral's S tier, and I will be in control of the mouse.
Make sure
You
to
can be in control of everything you
Okay.
want. You can
Yeah.
have your digital directions all you want, but that does not mean that they're gonna be up there. I will
No,
not put ferals that high.
I
And
will
I
say
am biased. I am very biased for ferals.
okay, but I will say this, and this is I kind of want to wrap it up because I don't want to go all night. It's already 9
I
o'clock.
gotta get going here pretty
yeah.
soon.
Yeah. So here's what I think. At the end of the day, ferals are happy. People that had been playing ferals in the past that have since left left them behind, they've if not come back, at least considered playing. Like Scotty J was like, I want to play my feral now. I'm excited to play my feral. If that's all that this change, if that's all that comes of it, I'm happy because I love the feral community, and I've definitely felt the depression. I think that's the right word of like feral seeping in over the last couple of months, and because like even I was like, okay, I'm exhausted. You know what I mean?
For the past month and a half, I thought about class changing until this bug.
Yeah, I brought it up at I think our last thing. I was like, maybe it's time to play a mage.
I've been talking to my my officer corps about it, like
and you're like, never mind, I'm good.
I'm like, nope, I'm good now.
And I think if you could take anything away from it, feral feels way better, and it is exciting for the class, regardless of how high on the S tier section we go. It's gonna be.
You mean how high you go?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited.
If you do that tier list,
can you use the whole arm? So, okay,
no. I'll use the pinky next time.
Make sure to watermark all of your rules of your tier list onto your tier list. So if somebody screenshots it's got the rules on there.
Yep. It'll be embedded behind the tier list, so people can't crop it out at all. Yeah, I'm doing that for sure.
Yeah, but any closing thoughts from you two? Anything else about ferals you wanted to?
I actually want to tie back. I really like Smooth. I'm really excited to see what kind of DPS he does. I hope we say this all the time, when the new phase comes, it's like a fresh look at the game, and I hope we can get Smooth back to say, like, especially early. I think the best times to talk to people are early phase and late phase. Like, how are you preparing for next phase, and how are you feeling about the phase so far? So I think it'd be cool to look at, reach out to a Boomkins and be like, hey, how do you like it? Does TOG suck?
Yeah, we do need more Boomkins and Restos on this.
Yeah, I'm still looking for a Resto.
Sure. Ufa's a Resto, I think. So reach out.
Yeah. Cool. Next week we're over on Grif's channel. Even more feral talk than we had tonight. If that's
we're gonna see some logs, baby.
Yeah, if that's even imaginable to have more feral than we had tonight. Like
yeah, we
didn't talk feral till 8 o'clock.
And we had a full hour, and I'm smelling the cat fumes. Like it smells like pee. I don't like it.
I'm waiting to delve into Griff's logs and see what he did wrong.
Welcome to the litter box.
That's what I can say.
Give me Dreambinder, and I will destroy all the parses.
No, you won't.
I mean, maybe. I just want Dreambinder.
That needs to be the name of the show next week. Welcome to the litter box.
Yep.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, that's a good name for it. Okay.
Litter. Yeah. Well, anyways, we'll discuss.
Welcome back to the litter box because everyone abandoned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bearbus, thanks for coming and hanging with us for a little bit there.
No problem.
I'm getting loud.
Yeah. Let me find my end stream button because I'm always like, all right, ending the stream, and I never do. So thanks for hanging out. This was one of our.
And as always, guys,
take care.
No, go ahead. Finish.
No, this was one of the longer
ones.
Subscribe
and hit the follow button.
We don't beg for that.
We don't normally say that. We don't care. We have zero interest in people ever watching. And
that was the joke.
The homies are already here.
Don't care. if anybody really cares, they're already here.
That's right. The 4 likes that I got are my 4 best friends. It was Grif, it was Bearbus, it was Smooth, and it was me. So we got our 4 likes in.
Like the stream. All right. Like it. Oh, and thank you, Ness, for the tip.
Man,